All right, here we go. Matt Hoffa, welcome back to Vlad TV.
I'm back, baby.
And you got the symbol for you.
That's facts. For everybody that thought that it was fake. Let you know when I'm here, it's going to be real.
That's right. And you about to see me on my expert opinion?
Yes, of course. You know, we know how we do this.
Yeah. You about to see me on there?
Right.
Breaking my silence on a few different things? All right, let's get into it. We got a lot of stuff to talk about, but you know where we're starting.
Take that.
As we speak, as you're drinking your caramel macchiato.
It's not a macchiato, man.
Or whatever the hell you're drinking. Diddy is sitting in a jail cell.
Yeah.
Apparently not eating. That's what they're saying.
That he's not eating.
He's not eating. They're not sure why. I don't know whether he's stressed out or maybe the food is moldy. I guess like the way it's laid out where he is, which is like in isolation, by the time the food gets to that section, it's sort of like the last of the food. You see, so he's not getting like the new food. He's getting kind of the old food at the end. They're saying a lot of times it's moldy and cold and just not used to the 5-star restaurants he's usually, used to.
I mean, if I was him, I wouldn't eat shit either, bro.
Yeah, but you'll die. That's what happens if you don't eat.
Yeah, but, you might die either way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you will probably have more of a chance of surviving if you actually eat. Listen, I've been locked up in those jail cells, in Brooklyn out there. I feel them.
Yeah, but somebody with extreme power does not have a hard-on for your destruction right now. And it seems like someone with a lot of power has a hard-on for this nigga's destruction. So I wouldn't trust it either. Look, I wouldn't trust it either, man.
We would like to say, when you go to the courts, and they have the blind justice on there, the statue.
Yeah.
She's got the scales, and she doesn't know which way they're going to go because she's blind. She's only looking for the truth. That is not how the legal system works.
No, it's definitely not.
It's definitely not. And law enforcement, especially when it comes to high-profile people, has always been reactionary, not proactionary. Meaning, if you're all over the media for a bunch of alleged crimes and people are filing lawsuits and alleging this and alleging all these crimes and abuse and trafficking and there's documentaries being made about you, there's a pretty good chance that you're going to catch a case.
So basically we're saying there is a witch hunt formula.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah, always has been.
People can stir it up.
Yes.
And by the time that brew is finished, so are you, basically.
Well, I'll say this. I would say with confidence that if Cassie's lawsuit wasn't filed and we got to see all those details, if he had settled that lawsuit and it was never publicly filed where we could see the entire write-up.
No, he settled it.
No. He settled it after she filed. That's why we got to see.
You're saying it was private before?
Well, yeah. She was approached. Oh, sorry.
Be careful on this.
Yes.
Yeah.
No. I know exactly how this works.
Uh-huh.
Her lawyers approached him and said, "We're going to file, or we're going to write a book. Pay us off, and we won't file."
Right.
They couldn't come up with a number, or maybe he just said, "I'm not doing it." Period. So then she filed, and then he settled. But he settled after the lawsuit was actually submitted to the courts, which is why we could look at the lawsuit. So, for example, if you look at my Roger Bonds interview, I go down the lawsuit page by page.
Right. Wow.
And we talk about every incident. A lot of those incidents, he was either there or he knew about it.
Right.
But the lawsuit, that's when you find out about the Kid Cudi, car getting blown up. That's when you find out about all the beatings. That's when you find out about all the drugs and the freak-offs and everything else like that. I never heard the term freak-off until that lawsuit got filed.
Really?
Not with him.
Oh.
Specifically. I mean, yeah, I've heard in general freak-off, but now he is the king of freak-offs.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's the king. There's still Still a guy that hung himself that probably holds that title, bro.
Oh, Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're saying that Diddy's on suicide watch. His lawyer's saying that's not true. But I think that anyone that's that high profile, that rich, after Epstein killed himself and no one knew what happened,
Right.
I think everyone's just automatically on suicide watch. It's just like a check off, as soon as they get there.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy. What's your opinion on this shit?
My opinion is I'm trying to figure out what exactly the crimes are. I know what he's being accused of, but what exactly did he do that would warrant an immense amount of time?
Or an immense amount of resources being used to find something on him, right?
Listen, he's got a RICO.
He don't got a RICO. He got a FRICO. That's
got
what
a FRICO.
They hit him with the FRICO.
He got sex trafficking.
Sex trafficking. That
He
shit
got
again.
kidnapping.
Kidnapping.
Yeah, he has a lot of really ugly charges.
Not is the kidnapping? Well, we don't know. So I don't want to speculate, but I'm guessing that it's coming from the Cassie lawsuit. And if it is coming from the Cassie lawsuit, and they settled out, how's he? I don't know how this shit works.
I'll explain it to you. There's criminal cases and there's civil cases. A criminal case has to do with jail time.
Mm-hmm.
And possibly if you stole some money, you might have to do some restitution or whatever else, right? But in general, a criminal case has to do with going to prison. A civil case has nothing to do with prison. It has to do with money.
Right.
Now, it's harder to convict on a criminal case than a civil case. A criminal case is beyond a reasonable doubt, meaning let's say 90%. You're 90% sure they did it, guilty. If you're 80% sure they did it, probably not guilty. A civil case is more probable than not.
Speculative.
If you're 51% sure that he did it, then he's guilty. If you're 49% sure that he did it, then he's not guilty. Get it? Cassie filed a civil lawsuit.
Right.
That lawsuit was settled. She signed paperwork saying that she won't talk about it, she won't write a book, she won't do interviews, whatever else. But a criminal case supersedes any personal agreement, which is what a civil settlement is.
Cassie will be brought to the stand on
Cassie could absolutely take the stand and say all the stuff that she signed the NDA for on the stand.
How's that gonna turn out?
Keep in mind, Cassie might be charged with a few things also. And there might be a deal. Hey, testify against Diddy and you won't get charged.
That's what I'm looking at. That's what I'm like, okay, all right, cool. So, because I've never seen a racketeering charge and one person arrested.
Yeah, you're right. You're racketeering one person.
Yeah, that's odd.
Yeah, where's the
criminal organization?
I've heard rumors that other people are going to get dragged into this. I've heard some rumors, but none of that's come true yet, so I don't know.
I don't know, man. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I think, I know just like everybody else, I'm waiting to see what the fuck is going to happen.
Yeah.
But I do know that if I was to get online, or if you guys to get online right now and Google how many celebrities have a sexual assault charge right now, and that some of them are very high profile, nobody's talking about them. Nobody's talking about them. So I don't know what's going on. I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you. They hit him with the FRICO. Hit him with the FRICO.
When is the last time you bought a bottle of baby oil?
Probably the last time I went to the beach.
Okay. How long does a bottle of baby oil last you?
Yeah, we gonna talk about we're not talking about the baby. Come on, we all know it's part of the whole, I don't. It's crazy.
A year, maybe?
Not a year.
6 months?
I like to be shiny. You crazy?
Okay, 6 months?
I don't know. I don't use baby oil like that, bro. It's
Imagine
usually for
how
like
long-
my girl or something. I use coconut oil.
Imagine how long 1,000 bottles of baby oil will last you.
Well, in a mansion, a how many bedroom mansion?
It doesn't matter.
It does matter.
If you're in a 10-bedroom mansion, that means you have 100 bottles of baby oil in every room.
100 bottles.
100 bottles of baby oil.
What's it for?
I don't know. Maybe you're slipping and sliding like from room to room.
That's what I speculated. I was like, maybe he has a long hallway and he just, and everybody just it slides down the hallway. You know what I mean? They're doing the whole Cool Runnings reenactment. Who knows, bro? Who knows? I do know this. Oh man, this is gonna be such a storm of information.
Well, yeah. I mean, besides the 1,000 bottles of baby oil, you get a little more information about him blowing up Kid Cudi's car.
If he did.
Well, I'll say this. I spoke to someone recently. I'm not going to say who it is. They were with Kid Cudi when he got the call and said that his car is on fire. This really happened.
But it could have been anyone.
It could have been anyone.
This is what I'm saying. And I said this on the show. I was like, so what, did Diddy text him after like, boom, motherfucker? Like, where's the proof of this?
They're saying there's witnesses that he bragged about this too. Not to say that he did it.
That he bragged?
Yeah, he was bragging about doing this.
Who said that he bragged about it?
There's some John Does and Jane Does in the case.
Please. I don't believe that shit. I don't believe none of this shit, bro. I'm sorry.
So he's innocent, he's gonna get left free.
Okay, just looking at the fact that, we saw him out in the public just moving around like a regular person.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that was to show that he wasn't gonna run. His lawyer said he turned over his passport. He came to New York. He was on the streets of New York. We saw him meeting up with G-Dep. We saw him in Harlem. Random people taking pictures with him, fans, whatever. It did not seem like he had any intention of avoiding this. Yet they picked him up a day early.
Yeah.
Why?
I guess they had gotten a word that maybe he might run or something may change. This is what I heard.
No.
This is what I heard. They did pick him up early, though. He was supposed to turn himself in later.
Let's think about this.
Okay.
If he turned himself in, then the judge might not be inclined to hold him without bail because he's complying.
Right. That's what the lawyer said.
But they pick him up a day early,
And
knowing, you know what I'm saying? So that bail could get denied.
No. I don't think him getting picked up early has anything to do with his bail.
I'm telling you, it has something to do with it.
His bail got denied.
Because you can make the argument that he might run if you had to pick him up, correct? The
reason why his bail was denied was because he called one of the witnesses 54 times from his phone.
One of the witnesses?
Yes.
That could be his mother for all we know.
It's not his mother. It's actually one of the girls from making the band, Dirty Money. Because remember, Dawn Richards filed a lawsuit against him claiming sexual assault. And in the lawsuit, she names one of the other girls like 33 times, mentioning that, she was there when Cassie got punched or whatever.
Was Dawn? Okay, all right.
Okay, so what happened was the girl who was mentioned, who's actually married to one of Diddy's friends, came forward and said, I haven't seen any of these things that Dawn was talking about. My name was mentioned a lot of, 33 times, but I can't co-sign any of these things myself. So Diddy starts calling her like crazy. And there's actually phone records from him calling her like 54 times.
Who, Dawn or the other girl?
The other girl. The girl that said, it's not true. Yeah.
So what does that mean?
It means potential witness tampering.
How?
Because you're trying
If
to
she
get a hold.
already said she didn't see anything. How
So why is he
tampering?
calling her 54 times? This is what happened.
54 times over the span of what? Over
Like
the
a
span
day.
of how long?
Like within a day. Yes. Hold on. I'll get the
In
actual
a day, and she didn't call. Yeah, pull that up.
Okay, here we go. So Judge Andrew Carter denied bail and ordered Combs remanded to custody, where his attorney said he would be held in the special housing unit of MDC Brooklyn. Carter, the judge, said the government had provided sufficient evidence Combs is a danger to the community and a danger to obstruct justice and intimidate witnesses. Carter said the defense proposed bail package was insufficient to assure Combs wouldn't obstruct justice or tamper with witnesses. It's about obstructing justice and tampering with witnesses.
I don't know.
And let me bring up the whole thing. After Diddy was indicted on racketeering, sex trafficking, and other charges, prosecutors said he called Harper, the girl who said, Kalina Harper, the one who said, I didn't see any of the stuff that Don was talking about, called Harper a whopping 54 times the day before she made that statement. So he called her 54 times, and then she made a statement.
Did he speak to her?
Defending him.
What does that prove?
Meaning that her statement was based on some level of communication they had. You call someone 54 times, then they make a statement defending you, you could infer that you did something to influence what they're saying. And that was one of the reasons why the judge denied Diddy's bond, saying he could intimidate witnesses if he's released until trial.
But if she didn't claim that he called and intimidated her,
listen,
why is that
it's not up to you and I. It's up to the judge.
Oh, that's ridiculous, though, man. Maybe you're trying to wake somebody up. Yo, wake up. Like, what happens, bro? My girl calls me this shit. If that's, man, damn, like, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
I try my best not to just, jump into the whole witch hunt.
No, listen. I don't know Diddy like that. We've done one interview. I've run into him like once maybe.
Right.
Had brief conversations. I'm actually shocked that he was denied bail. I thought Diddy would be sitting in his mansion until the trial starts. I mean, Harvey Weinstein got to sit in his mansion until the trial started. In fact, what's his name? R. Kelly actually got to, get bail until he violated
all types of shit.
Yeah, until he violated his bail, then he got, put in jail. But most times, rich people will pay some huge bail amount because he offered like $50 million, which they denied. For example, the guy, the FTX guy who stole like billions and billions, he had a $250 million bail package, $250 million. But once again, he ended up tampering with witnesses, and then he violated his bail. He got put in jail.
So
until his trial.
They're looking at it like, this is how this can happen.
You can't witness tamper, man. Like, you can't have conversations.
What is witness tampering?
That means that anyone that potentially could be connected to your case, you can't have any sort of communication with them whatsoever.
But that's crazy to say you can't witness tamper when they're checking his phone records from before. Okay, you may have somebody on the list. We don't even know who's on the fucking list for the witnesses.
Well, they checked it after he got indicted.
Right.
They got indicted. They started going through his phone records, and they started to see what he was doing leading up to the arrest. And he saw that he was contacting witnesses 54 times.
What exactly are they trying to do? I'm so confused by this shit, bro.
They're trying to keep him in jail in an attempt to have a fair trial. That's what they're trying to do. What do you think? Do you think that
this whole shit is weird?
The whole shit is weird. I'm not denying it.
Whatever. Okay, whether he was having freak offs or whatever the fuck was going on. Why is this a federal fucking case? Why is this even like something that the whole world needs to pay attention? I don't understand this shit, bro. Like, what happened? There's no more cartels. There's no like, what the fuck happened, bro?
Man, listen. When you do interviews, you try to get the biggest guest that you can, right? Because you want the biggest attention to your platform by getting the biggest celebrity you could possibly get to associate with your brand. That's what law enforcement does.
What do they
want to
get
bust? This is how you make careers.
Oh, I busted Diddy.
I busted Diddy.
Oh, you wasted our fucking tax dollars.
I convicted Diddy. I'm going to get rehired for my job. I'm going to get a raise.
How?
I'm gonna
Why?
Get moved.
What the
Because you are the person.
How was this nigga? How was this nigga? All right. First time I heard the term Homeland Security, it had to do with terrorists.
Yeah.
Homeland Security raided this man's mansion. Where's the terrorism, son? Like, where's the fucking terrorism? And I know there's gonna be like a million bots in the comments like, oh, you're defending. No, I'm not defending Diddy. I'm just trying to understand, like, why was this number one on the list for things to do?
Well, personally, I think anyone with 1,000 bottles of lube is a terrorist because, what are you going to do with all that lube? Except for terrorizing, some defenseless group of people.
Hey, man, depending on the activities, if you don't got the lube, you're a terrorist. You're a fucking terrorist. You better have it on deck.
You better have it. You know what I thought first, though? You know what I thought first? I didn't want to say this on Twitter because, I know how Twitter is. How dry is Young Miami to have 1,000 bottles of lube?
I can't. See, Vlad, that's where you start to cross the line. Shout out to Young Miami. I don't got nothing to do with that statement.
That's all me. That's all me.
That's all you.
That's all me.
But I'm not even thinking that. I'm thinking, yeah, okay, when you get a certain amount of money, or when you reach a certain level, I don't know, maybe an ego could come into play, all your wildest fantasies. You got the money to make all this shit happen. There's a bunch of other celebrities who are at their at a peak. As far as like, all right, we live in this society, but we're the ones that we got access to every fucking thing. You look at a lot of fucking emperors and kings and shit like that. Every couple of generations, there was somebody like that.
Yeah, having freak offs in the palace.
Just freak out. Just, you know what I mean? Baby oil everywhere, Caligula shit. You know what I'm saying?
No,
and
look, I mean,
but where? And my heart goes out to Cassie and whatever she might have went through, whatever the fuck they went through together.
Yeah,
because I don't think it was just. It's not just that. That doesn't happen and you stay. It usually becomes like a toxic situation on both sides.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm just curious as to what's the true motivation behind this take Diddy down.
I think the amount of attention the Cassie lawsuit got, and then all the subsequent lawsuits that started to come together.
So you telling me,
yes,
you don't believe there's somebody out there? But one, they raided the crib.
Yeah. After the Cassie lawsuit,
King Combs did that freestyle.
Yeah.
Talking about, oh, but y'all ain't checked the other house. The Cassie footage drops right after that. It's like the feds dropped their diss record. You know what I'm saying?
Or maybe
it's like they dropped their diss record.
Or maybe Cassie dropped it.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. Because how did she get it? Let's be real.
She got it probably from the same person that he got it from, the hotel. If you are a hotel worker, and they say that Diddy paid like $50,000 or something for the tape, you think you're going to destroy the tape or you're going to keep another copy of it? If I sold something for $50,000, I would keep a copy of it. Maybe whoever sold it to Diddy gave Cassie a copy too.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And then, she felt like, because I think that there was at the time, and I remember I did some interviews about this and so forth, I think like on Piers Morgan, like Roger Bonds was sort of inferring that sometimes Cassie would start these physical altercations. She like punched Diddy in the face. In fact, that whole video in the hotel, I guess Diddy's lawyer was saying that Cassie assaulted him first and then like grabbed his clothes and ran out, like punched him in the face with a phone or something and ran out. And he went to go get his stuff. Now, the way he reacted was horrible.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not justifying how he reacted.
Right.
But there was abuse from both sides to a certain degree. Now, what he was doing was 100 times worse. But it was a toxic relationship, and it was a drug-fueled relationship.
Right.
They were both on drugs. That's something Roger Bonds made very clear. They would have these 2-3 day drug binges, and then they would all go and get the IVs afterwards. And then every so often he'd end up in rehab, and you know, the cycle continued.
Yeah, to come down to that shit is...
Yeah, listen, I've taken ecstasy before.
You don't love me? No one loves me. Oh, you're like Smeagol. Oh.
Yeah. No, listen, I've taken ecstasy. The reason I stopped is because the next day I'd be too messed up. You know, I've taken it maybe...
takes a day away from you.
I've probably done it half dozen times in my life. You know what I'm saying? It's not really my thing. I mean, but I'll admit that I've taken it. But yeah, I can imagine if I was taking it every weekend, I'd probably need some IVs.
Every weekend, every other day. Try that. I mean... Rest in peace, rich homie Quan. Like he came on the show.
Yeah, that was a hard one for me.
And he talked about being introduced to Molly, just developing the addiction, and how it altered like his relationships with people and all that shit. Like there's a dark side to this shit that I don't think everybody understands.
Yeah, no, I mean I'd mentioned this before. When I was in Atlanta, I was interviewing this rapper in Atlanta at a studio. These two dudes came in afterwards. He left the room. They came in. They're like, "Oh shit, DJ Vlad, you want some cocaine?" And I'm like, "Nah."
You look, yeah, definitely.
Nah.
I back when I was selling coke, I definitely would have asked you.
Yeah, I
would have gave you the dap with the sample. Like, here you go, my man. Just hit my line. You need anything else?
I was like, nah, I'm good. He's like, are you sure? I said, I'm sure. And the first thing I'm thinking, like, yo, with fentanyl being what it is, like, people are still taking street drugs.
You have to be careful. You have to be very careful.
Yeah, no, Rich Homie Quan is the 5th person that I've interviewed that has died of a drug overdose. Gangster Boo, Mac Miller.
Rest in peace, Mac Miller. Rest in peace, Gangster Boo.
Aaron Carter. Coolio.
Wow.
Now Quan. That's 5. It's a hell of a drug, man.
Dave Chappelle said this shit a while ago, man. And it always comes back. Every time I see some shit like this going on, when he was on Oprah and he says, what's making these celebrities act like this in Hollywood? What is the environment like? Like, other people, like it's got to be some sick shit going on to fuck people up like that. And having everything within arm's reach, having the money to pretty much buy whatever the fuck you want, and then people who will kind of support that shit, enable it, around you because they want to be.
Nah.
It's some real shit, bro. Like
I see what you're saying, but I'm gonna just say this, right? Having a threesome is not illegal.
No, it's not.
Prostitution, yeah, I guess it's technically illegal in some places, but
if you turn the camera on,
in general, very few people get prosecuted for prostitution, especially if everyone's of age. No one's being forced into it. No one's being threatened to do it. Like if you're a prostitute and you had sex with Diddy and he paid you $1,000, I don't really see a problem in that. Right. You know what I mean? Right. Like you got paid and now later on you want to sue and say that you were forced or whatever else. I mean, you could say that, but I'm sure at the time it is what it is. Now, was Diddy forcing people to take drugs? Because he was taking drugs too. You got a whole bunch of drugs on the table. If you want some, take it. If you don't want it, don't take it.
Don't take it.
Diddy gonna take it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Cassie was gonna take it. No one's forcing them to take it.
Right.
They want to take it. So are you drugging people, or are they just taking drugs right along with you?
Right.
Again, I don't really see a problem in that. I don't think anyone's holding someone down and putting cocaine down their nose.
Straw in their nose.
Yeah, like blowing the cocaine.
Cover his mouth. Cover his mouth.
Yeah,
you're gonna do these drugs. I don't really see it. In a mansion, someone's tied to a chair like, no,
I don't want to see the drugs.
Not the Molly again.
Not the Molly.
Not the Molly. I can't see it. I can't see it, bro. They're all indulging. That's what it is. They're indulging. They're all fucking indulging.
You know,
I haven't heard one person come out and say, well, I was there, I took a drink, and then all of a sudden, all my clothes were off, and there were like 5 guys standing around. I haven't heard one person say that.
No one's pulling the Bill Cosby routine saying that he, slipped a Spanish fly in my drink and, a Quaalude, and I woke up and I didn't know what was going on. Sounds like everyone was in on it. People wanted to party with Diddy.
Do a little Google search of everybody saying, ain't no party like a Diddy party.
Yeah, there's lots of them. Listen, let's just keep it 100. Me and you would have loved to go to Diddy parties if we were invited.
No.
Really? You wouldn't have gone to a Diddy party, to a white party? You wouldn't have gone to a Diddy white party if you were invited. You would turn down that invitation? Seriously? As a rapper
today?
Not today.
Okay.
A year ago.
Like a year ago?
A year ago.
Invites me to a party.
If Diddy invited you to a white party, you would go. Don't lie and say you wouldn't. And so would I.
Okay.
And so would I. Just like
all white party,
if Hov invited you to his whatever Sunday, whatever what do you call those Hov parties?
The brunch,
the Rock Nation brunch.
Oh yeah, I'm going to that.
You're going. Just like you would go to
it's during the day, everybody's clothes on.
Right. But you would go to a Diddy party also. Leonardo DiCaprio was going to Diddy party.
I'm going to keep it 100. I would definitely go to a Diddy party.
Right.
But if I turned the corner and I saw 1,000 bottles of lube, I'm getting the fuck out of there.
Me too.
Immediately.
Me too.
I gotta go. Something's going on with my kids.
Right.
I need to leave now, expeditiously.
I get it.
I need to leave this place.
Because listen, obviously there are parties within the parties.
Right.
There was, Howard Stern was at Diddy parties.
Right.
Tyrese was at Diddy parties. You see them. Like, there's videos of this.
Right.
But then at one point it got a little late, and the big celebrities will go home, and there's rooms in the back, and they would, do their thing with the male and female prostitutes and whatever else.
Well, we don't know if those things were happening at the parties.
Yeah. Sometimes they
that
were,
shit
sometimes they
could have
weren't.
been just a private situation with them. We don't know.
I mean, that's what Roger Bond said. Like, basically, Diddy would for example, when the video came out with Diddy chasing, Cassie, down the hall in the Intercontinental, I remember I said, the first thing I said, I was on Twitter, I said, one thing that's weird to me is that he's staying at the Intercontinental, which is like a 4-star hotel. It's not, as someone of his financial caliber,
right.
I don't think he would stay at a hotel. Like, he'd be like the Mandarin or the Four Seasons. And someone responded and said, actually, I used to work at the Intercontinental in Atlanta, and he would stay there all the time because he'd rent out the whole floor.
Right.
When he was running down that hall, it didn't seem like he was worried about another guest opening the door and seeing him.
Exactly.
Seemed like he was very comfortable in his towel,
cameras.
Didn't care. Yeah.
I got this.
So that's what he would do. He would rent out a whole floor, and he would have these freak-offs, and he'd invite the male prostitutes and stuff like that. And Roger Bond said he would see them going up the elevator.
It looked like, okay, there's a window by the hotel, by the hotel window, by the elevators.
Yeah.
The sun is up. So this is probably like the next day to come down the bullshit. You know what I mean? Cocaine makes you very aggressive, very, very, very problematic. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And there's no excuse for the behavior. I think at a certain point, you just got to look at shit and be like, okay, how did this work for this person? And then that person, and then that person, and then that person. But I'm going to believe I'm going to be the one that's I'm going to live in this fucking drug-filled, sex-induced, like fucking paradise forever and everything's going to be fine. Nah, it's not that. It's not that.
Yeah, I mean, look.
Sometimes you gotta reconnect with God, my man.
I mean, Boosie said that Diddy's locked up for basically doing what every other famous entertainer has done.
Yeah, pretty much.
And that's true.
No. More than that, there was a guy who did this. No one ever fucking complained. At least we never saw the complaints.
Hugh Hefner.
Hugh Hefner.
Yeah.
The Playboy Mansion.
Yes.
There's no one on this planet that thought, I'm just gonna go to the Playboy Mansion and have a nice party. Nah, everybody believed you go in that mansion, you fucking something.
Yeah.
That's public
Some
perception.
top notch.
It's not even, it didn't have to be revealed in a fucking lawsuit, no nothing. Everyone thought, Playboy Mansion, that's where the bitches, the drugs, and all that shit is going down.
Yeah, but I think that if Hugh Hefner was alive today, he would probably have some allegations and so forth, because some of the girls, after he died, started to speak out against him and everything else like that. You know what I'm saying? And look, this is what Boosie said. He said, I feel Diddy in jail for basically doing what every other famous entertainer has done. Flew bitches out for some threesomes. He just freakier. We actually go call women prostitutes who fly in willingly to be with their partners for sex. If that's the case, if you've been flued out and had sex, you should be labeled a prostitute. That's the case that 80% of the women reading this is trafficking. Hell nah. You're a celebrity. You got to fly pussy in. How else you going to get the pussy? You're never in one place. When I saw that video, I was pissed off at this N-word. Like, he really got a problem. But facing life in prison for doing basically what so many other entertainer has done? Nah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like I said, it's hard for me to really figure out what exactly he did that was so heinous that is going to get him life in prison.
It's got to be the 1,000 bottles.
You know, 1,000 bottles.
It's got to be the 1,000 bottles.
Now there's this. 1090 Jake pointed this out.
What?
When they raided his house, they found 3 AR-15s with the serial number scratched off and a 50-round drum, all of which are illegal.
All of which is illegal.
100%.
But they found that.
In his house.
How do we know?
It's in the report.
How do we know?
It's in the report. They put the guns there to make him look bad. Okay, I got it. That's what you're saying.
All right, you got a huge mansion owned by a film company. You got people in and out of there every day.
It's not owned by a film company.
You got people in and out of there every day.
It's his actual private residence.
Okay, private residence, but you got people in and out of there every single day. One of them gets jammed up. Yo, do me this favor. Just take this book bag over there.
Okay.
And just leave it in the
You're Diddy, and someone approaches you and say, please hold on to these
illegal
guns for me.
They're not going to approach him. They just got to walk in with it and leave it in the fucking corner. A room where no one goes is always messy.
I guess that's going to be his defense. But, you know,
I'm just saying.
If his fingerprints are on it, then he's going to have a problem.
That would be some shit.
Right.
But for me, oh, no, nigga, no.
Right, because here's the thing.
Especially when it comes to black men, I'm going to keep it 100 with y'all. Because some of y'all going to look at me like, yo, he's defending you. Listen, man, we need some sort of defense out here, bro. We need some sort of defense.
Yeah, but you can get illegal guns. You can get illegal guns. I mean, in fact, he has no felony, so he could have gotten as many guns as he wanted in California. But a 50-round clip is not legal.
No.
Especially in California. Scratched off serial numbers, that's illegal. And here's the interesting part. Me and 1090 Jake talked about this. There's no charges for those guns yet. I think the feds just hold on to that, so if he manages to beat some of these other charges, he'll get another superseding indictment just for the guns.
Oh, that's nasty work. That's nasty work. We're going to take you through the ringer, give you the young thug treatment.
Yeah.
and then keep something on the side so we can start it all over again.
Right. I mean, the same thing's going to happen to Young Thug because, like I said, he's got all these RICO charges, murder charges, whatever, but when they raided his house, they found, they found drugs, they found a bunch of lean, and they also found Glock switches. And those Glock switches by themselves have a bunch of jail time associated with them.
Well, who's going to take the charge for that?
If your fingerprints are on it, it doesn't matter who's going to take the charge.
Can you imagine being on like the task force that has to go through all the footage from this from his crib? Like, can you imagine, like, motherfuckers are sitting there like, oh no, not this, oh shit, son, damn, I fuck with this nigga, man, god damn. Damn, man, this shit, wow. This nigga was like the best point guard in the NBA at one point. God damn, man.
Oh, you taking it with a strap on. Oh, no.
Oh, not this. Oh, is she married to yo? That's crazy. That's crazy. They're probably wildin', bro.
You know what I don't understand?
They're wildin'.
Here's what I don't understand.
These niggas cashing out. TMZ is about to give up fucking 50%, 50% of their company just to get the fucking files from that shit.
Right?
Like, give it up.
Look, I never understood taping anything illegal, especially anything sexual, legal or not. You see what I'm saying? Like, I've never taped myself having sex because who knows where that footage could go? You're not going to be able to monitor 24/7. You leave the tape disappears. You know, you have it on your phone, someone hacks your iCloud.
This is a different situation for you, Vlad. For me, that's a great commercial. That's great marketing. It's great marketing for me, you know what I'm saying? The only thing is, you know, I got kids. I wouldn't want my kids to go online and be like, oh, shit, daddy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, and depending on how someone could edit that tape to make it look bad.
In what way?
You know, you're having sex with a girl and she's saying, don't stop. But she edited it so you only hear the stop. You don't hear the don't. You see what I'm saying? Shit like that.
You know what?
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
It sounds silly when you say it, but
someone
actually,
took an argument with me and my girl, and they added a slap sound effect at the end of the shit.
Yeah, you had
and
that whole
like,
exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Like, that's
what I'm saying.
That's crazy.
We all have arguments. You add a slap to it, and suddenly it's something else.
Right.
How do you know the slap's not real? You know, how does the general public know? You know the slap's not real.
Right.
But everyone else thinks you just slapped
her. It's like,
her.
yo, what? Oh, that's great. It didn't even, this shit don't make, but most people are not thinking anymore, and that's what I'm realizing. People just not thinking. There's a lot of people that think that Diddy is locked up for what he did to Cassidy.
Well, that's part of it. But that's
Cassidy.
part of it. That's part of it. I mean, like I said, I think she's going to not only did she get a big payday from him, but she's going to get on the stand and put him in prison. That's what I think is going to happen. This is why a lot of times...
Especially if she's hit with something.
This is why settling is so dangerous. Settling makes you look guilty, and ultimately, a criminal case will throw that settlement out the window. So you're almost better off saying, I didn't do it. You're lying. I have no idea. Or you settle before the shit gets filed. Like I said, if she had gotten the money from him before she filed, I don't think any of this would have happened. In the same way that if it wasn't for surviving R. Kelly, I don't think any charges would be brought up against R. Kelly. R. Kelly had a criminal case for underage sex. He beat it. And it was over.
Right.
And he was living his life and going on and doing whatever until someone decided to make a documentary which ended up being the talk of the town. And suddenly all the charges start hitting. It's not a coincidence. It's reactive law enforcement. I don't like it, but you're going to have to just admit that that's just how life works.
How life works.
It's how life works.
I guess eventually the lawmakers are going to have to catch up with this shit. Because, I mean, that's kind of scary, bro. Just thinking that. Because I'm looking at it now. There's a pattern. We're gonna introduce a whole bunch of propaganda for about a year. Mm-hmm. So by the time we go to a grand jury, everyone has a perception.
Yeah, and the grand jury will always convict you.
Not always.
99% of the time.
Right.
Do you know how grand juries work, right?
Yeah, to get a bunch of people to figure out whether this is a case that they should that a charge that they could stick it down.
Well, yeah, they get a bunch of people together, and then the prosecution presents evidence to them
Right.
over the course of weeks, if not months, with nobody on the defense to say this isn't accurate, no, this is not true, whatever else. It's a one-sided argument that they could keep adding to over and over again until the jury says, okay, I think that's enough to indict.
Wow.
Yeah. For example, Johnny Cochran had a famous line that said that he could convict a ham sandwich with a grand jury. And it's true. It's true.
That's crazy.
Now, Eminem, he took some shots at Diddy on a new song called Fuel.
Of course he did.
He said, Notorious B.I.G.'s death was the domino effects of Tupac's murder like facial tissue. Whose clock should I clean next? Puffs till he's in police handcuffs. Guilty. Will he step up?
What does it mean? What does it mean?
He basically said that Tupac's murder led to Biggie's murder. And Puffy's responsible for it all. And he should be in handcuffs.
Where was Eminem when all this shit was going on?
I mean, 1996, Eminem was in a trailer park hoping to be a rapper.
Okay, so let's say, I guess speculative. This would be some sort of secondhand information if you wanted to give it any validity.
Well, no, he's just rapping. This is just a song.
It's just a song.
Just a song.
Just a song.
Yeah.
Just a song.
Just a song. No one's going to use this as evidence in anything.
Now, did you sure this ain't a late night conversation with Dr. Dre? Yeah, man, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, man, but nobody talks about it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Who knows, man? Who knows?
I don't know.
Who knows?
Would you say, by the way, Eminem is still top 5 with his new album?
Why not? Yeah, I enjoy Eminem albums. And I'm not saying that like, no one else does, but there's a lot of people that were like, yo, we don't play that in the hood. And to a certain extent, that is true. I enjoy it because I'm a lyricist and I appreciate the lyrical, the quality. I like albums that take me into another world. He creates those. You know what I mean?
I'm going to say this, and I know that everyone's going to get mad at me for saying this, but I feel it's truthful. Did you hear the song with LL Cool J and Eminem?
Yes.
What did you think?
I thought two legends on the track, it's a win.
Okay. That's the whole of your answer.
That's the whole of my answer. You're not going to get anything else out of me. What are you talking about?
This is what I'm going to say.
Where are you going with this,
This is what I'm going to say. And this is going to be unpopular.
Mm-hmm.
And before I say this, I'm going to preface it with LL Cool J is a definition of a legend.
Right.
In his prime, he was better than everyone else.
Correct.
When he came out, in fact, he was the first artist signed to Def Jam. He made that label. When he was doing his thing, when he was putting out albums, you'd be hard-pressed to say that there was anybody better than him. Flow, delivery, lyrics, aggression, battling, you saw what he did to Cannabis, whatever else. He was no slouch on any caliber when it came to hip-hop.
Right.
Hearing Eminem and LL Cool J on the same song, what I experienced was someone who continuously stayed with his craft, Eminem, versus someone that hasn't been rapping for a long time is now jumping back into it. And you see a vast difference between the skill level of the two of them on the mic.
I didn't get that.
I got that.
I did not get that.
I
did not
heard
get that.
Eminem outshining LL Cool J. LL Cool J was trying to keep up to the best of his ability, but you could tell that he's just so rusty because he hasn't been rapping for so long.
No,
that's what I heard.
No, that's what I got.
And I know everyone's going to get mad at me, and I don't care.
It's not even that. I think that, when you on a track with M, don't try to outdo him doing M shit.
So you think that?
No.
You think that Cool J was trying to be Eminem?
I was just in the studio with Cassidy, right?
Okay.
We're trying to knock out a record.
Okay.
And he's like, we should rhyme every syllable and we should da-da-da-da. And I'm like, all right, let me try it. I think we got about 24 bars done. But the loop is just burned in my head to now, I'm like, but that's his style.
Yeah.
It's not mine, you know what I'm saying? I'm free with my words. I like to say what I mean. I like to, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that he doesn't do that, but I have a different way of expressing myself that it doesn't have to be so intricately lyrical, you know what I mean? If you get on a track with M, and this is where I feel like people lose, don't try to do Eminem shit on a track with him. He's gonna smoke you every single time. Did I feel like L held his own? Yes, I feel L held his own. He held his own. It didn't feel like he was rusty with his craft to me.
Okay.
It felt like, what the fuck? I didn't know that you could do this because I've never heard L be that intricate. Right, with multi-syllabic. Yeah, polysyllabic, whatever you want to call the shit. I've never really heard him get down like that, especially with the lineup of songs that he was dropping. This was totally left field. But don't get on a track with M doing M shit. You heard Rap God? Okay, cool. If I ever do a track with this guy, I'm never rapping fast. I'm gonna focus on something else. Like if Jadakiss did a song with Jadakiss has done a song with Eminem, but I don't think he had a verse on it. Kiss is not gonna, let me do all it. Nah, he's not gonna do that. He's gonna be Kiss, the best Kiss that he could be, and M is gonna be the best M that he could be. But anybody who jumps on the track, this guy is known for this. He does this. Like he wakes up in the morning, he just does that shit.
Right.
Don't try to do that shit with him. You know what I mean?
Well, then maybe that's what I was hearing. I was hearing LL Cool J trying to do an Eminem impression and it just fell flat.
Like, okay, Renegade, the big Renegade conversation, right?
I could say that Jay-Z was not trying to do Eminem and Jay-Z held his own, and people will argue
he didn't really do him either. He did him as far as content, but the rhyming style, that wasn't a Jay-Z rhyming
So you
pattern.
think he was trying to kind of keep up with Eminem?
I had to hustle, my back to the wall, ashy knuckles, pocket filled with a lot of lint, not a cent, got a vent, a lot of innocent lives left on the project bench, what you hollering, gotta pay rent, bring dollars in. That's not Jay's flow.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? People get on the track with M and try to do some M shit. Like, no, you don't have to, bro.
I mean, Busta Rhymes sounded good with Eminem.
Yes, because Busta
Rhymes does that.
I gotta get in. I gotta go there. I gotta get in. Yeah. I mean, just go do that fast shit. We love it. We love it. Do that fast shit. But do not, I'm not gonna jump on the track with Busta Rhymes. Let me see if I could rhyme faster than him. What? This nigga's been doing this shit for 50 years. Like, for what? For what?
Yeah, no, listen. I mean, I think what we're saying is kind of the same thing. I think...
No, you said he sounded rusty.
Well...
No, he did not sound rusty.
Okay, so I'm saying he sounds rusty. You're saying he was trying to do a style he couldn't really pull off.
I'm not saying that
You
either.
are saying that.
Because if you remove Eminem and you put another rapper there, L is smoking him. L is showing... Yeah, I still got it. You think Black Thought the only one to still be sitting around freestyling and writing it? You thought he was the only one? No, I still got it too. It did not sound. I disagree with you on the rusty part.
Okay.
But I will agree that you don't do Eminem on a feature with Eminem. You don't do that.
So you would agree that Eminem got Cool J on that song?
He gets everyone on the song.
He doesn't get everyone. I think him and Busta Rhymes were neck and neck. No?
I love Busta. Busta can do the tempo, but the bar structure, nah. You slow that down and you read it. Slow it down and you read it, and you're gonna be like, oh, that was a punch. Oh, that was an ill flip. Oh, that was... Like M is doing that fast shit, but he's also putting in punchlines and shit like nah, bro. Nah, I don't think so. Closest to getting M. Yeah, I'm stuck. Damn, who would that be? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Royce.
I mean,
Royce.
when you look at like
Royce would probably be the only other person.
I think Drake held his own on the song with Eminem forever. It was very different rhyme styles, but Drake was not trying to do Eminem.
Exactly.
Drake did Drake, and he did a great Drake. And Eminem did a great Eminem. And, you know, for example,
does Kendrick have a record with Eminem?
See, I was trying to look this up. Industry Baby.
Industry Baby?
And Love Game. Yeah.
I'd have to go check them out.
Yeah.
Not familiar.
Yeah, I mean, like, who said this? I think it was Talib Kweli. And he may have been talking about the Eminem song with, like, Conway. Where, like, Conway comes in with, like, his street gutter shit, and Eminem comes in with this multisyllabic, like, you know, and it just doesn't sound.
In that regard, I think I heard that record.
Yeah.
Conway might be on that list also.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying?
He's not going to play that game.
He's not going to play that game. Right. And I think a lot of times Eminem doesn't like read the assignment. He just comes in and does Eminem and doesn't really pay attention to what the song is supposed to do. And, you know, just sort of does this crazy multi-syllabic, you know, triple entendre, which doesn't work for every song. If you're like with a Conway, you kind of, there's a certain vibe to Griselda that, you should probably
But if that's
focus
not
on.
his vibe, why
well, then maybe it's not the right song. And if you notice, that song didn't really do like huge numbers like that. I'm sure it was one of Conway's biggest songs, but in terms of the Eminem catalog, you won't see that in his top 10 or whatever else. So I'm saying, you know, and this is what Talib was saying, is that Eminem sometimes will just do Eminem regardless of what the song is kind of structured around. He'll just do Eminem every time. And that doesn't work every time, which I think in general, Eminem albums do well because it's just all Eminem.
Right.
Doing his own thing, his own beats, his own structure, his own concepts.
No, there's certain people that I think blend well with him.
Like who? Besides Royce.
Royce. You know, what's funny is I really like the joint he did with Young M.A.
Young who?
Young M.A.
Young M.A. Oh, yeah.
She blacked out on that. She might be on that list too, son. She might be on that.
But Young M.A. did Young M.A. She didn't come in and do an Eminem.
Exactly. This is what I'm saying. You can't play the game with.
Yeah, in fact, I think around the time I actually said that Young M.A. got M on that song.
Yeah.
He didn't come as a Eminem doesn't come 100% every time.
Right.
Sometimes like, this is just too much.
No, I think that when you're into your vibe and your vibe is comfortable, like Young M.A., she could get a lot of people because her shit is just comfortable.
Yeah.
It's like, it's easy to say. You catching a good wordplay here and there, and it's just a comfortable feeling as opposed to a rhyme that you have to go look up so that you can say the words with them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Back to my original point, LL Cool J sounded uncomfortable on that song with Eminem. Would you agree with me on that? He sounded uncomfortable. He wasn't in his comfort zone. I could call it rusty, you could call it something else, but at the end of the day, he didn't sound like the LL that we all loved.
I mean, it was a different flow.
Yeah. Now, will LL Cool J turn down an Eminem feature? Of course he wouldn't.
No, but
who would? But
let's keep it real. If L would have got M on a love song,
yeah, he could have killed him. He could have killed him.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there's no love songs that Eminem is really known for.
There's one song that I wish, Guns Blazing, I wish I wish they would have just put that out as like a single and did a video. Guns Blazing is one of my favorite joints.
Who's on that?
It's Dre and M.
Okay.
And it sounds like Dre's talking about his divorce.
Huh.
And M is talking about someone named Michelle, I don't know. But
okay.
The song is like, every time I broke up with somebody, that's my go-to song when I'm working out, when I'm, you know what I mean? That's my shit. That's my shit. That and on Last Meal, Losing Control. I got feel like I'm losing. That and I don't need. Listen, this is the pack. This is the, if you break up, you heartbroken, whatever. These are the 3 songs that you need. Guns Blazing. Don't play Song Cry. Song Cry might get you back together, whatever. You know what I mean? Guns Blazing. Snoop Dogg. Losing Control from the Last Meal album. And Snoop and, I forget the other guys, Snoop and Devin, I Don't Need No Bitch. You play those 3 songs every day, and within 4 or 5 days, you'll be over it. I don't care if you was married for 19 years. You'll be fine. You will be fine, my man. You'll be straight.
Well, speaking of relationships, Shannon Sharpe got to present his current relationship to the whole world.
That's my Michelle. Yo, that should be like a new fragrance. He should come out with a new cologne called My Michelle.
He was selling merch, actually.
My Michelle?
Michelle merch, yeah.
Michelle merch?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
People say that it was, done on purpose and so forth.
Yeah, it definitely was.
You think so?
Definitely.
Someone pointed out, I guess there was like some dude, he was like a stylist, and they had some sort of falling out.
Right.
And he pointed out, because Shannon said, oh, I just threw my phone down and it just turned on. And someone said, to go live, you got to press this button and then this button and swipe over. And
I actually went live on my Instagram and they was like, what's up, man? And I was like, nah, I was just checking to see how difficult it is to go live by accident.
Multiple steps.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So you think he did it on purpose for what? Because the gay rumors?
We live in this era. There's a lot of shit. It could be that. It could be you get such a high off of the attention.
Really?
Top of this year. Biggest interview ever. Ever. I know everybody was like, how the fuck?
You talking about Cat Williams?
Yeah, Cat Williams. How the fuck did this guy come out of nowhere and do what, 60 million views on one?
Probably more by now. Yeah.
What the fuck? Vlad, I know even you was like, fire whoever did not get me Cat Williams, fire him now. You know what I'm saying? Like, you reach such a peak and then slowly comes back down. I don't know, maybe there's a part of your mind that's like, more attention. And I'm not saying Shannon Sharpe is that immature, but we definitely know it wasn't an accident.
I mean, the only problem with that theory is that, unlike you and I, Shannon works under a corporate structure, right? He's what, ESPN? And ESPN has had a history of firing people for improper behavior.
Did they fire him?
No, they didn't.
Of course not.
But like Paul Pierce got fired.
That's Paul. No offense. No offense.
Go ahead.
Paul Pierce does not have a 60 million view interview, bro. He doesn't. The real estate is different for Shannon right now. It's very different.
Yeah.
Very different.
Listen, I don't know. It seems like a very weird way to go viral, and it seems like an embarrassing way to go viral. I know that he was getting some flack when he had like that skin tight, sweatsuit on with a fanny pack.
He's like, we about to go over here. Yo, shout out to Unc though, man. Shout out to Unc.
Yeah?
It kind of gives perspective on the times that we live in. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is an option. This is a publicity option now. Like at one point, like maybe sometime late last year, we were getting sex tapes back to back. Just random people just.
Yeah, Sexy Red had one.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, Shit just flying. There's people that got sex tapes out there that nobody care about. And they're famous. It's crazy.
Yeah, but even the sex tapes kind of come and go. Does anyone talk about the Sexy Red sex tape anymore? I haven't heard anyone mention it.
Nah, not really.
And she's gotten bigger and bigger
for
as an
that
artist.
moment,
Yeah.
maybe it did what it was supposed to do. I don't know.
Yeah.
We're definitely heading towards the Truman Show.
Yeah. Dame Dash.
Shout out to Dame, man.
Okay.
Shout out to Dame.
Now, I remember I said this a few times. I think I even said it on your show.
You said this to me in private.
Okay, so I'll just repeat it.
Right.
I don't, sometimes my private and public conversations sort of gel into each other.
Right.
But what I said was, I said this on Drink Champs.
Mm-hmm.
This is not me, suddenly coming up with it. I've been saying this publicly. I said, when I'm hearing Dame talk, his speech sounds slurred. For someone who's not that old, he's only a couple years older than me, his speech sounds slurred, and I don't understand why. You said, it's because he wears grills all the time. Well,
I wasn't wrong.
He was wearing grills. He just didn't have any teeth to go along with the grills. I remember when I saw the video, I said, Dame's dentures did the dash.
That was a terrible bar, Vlad. That's a terrible bar.
But then you saw Dame, he made a video about it, and he actually took out his front teeth.
Right.
He has no top teeth. Does he have bottom teeth? I don't think so.
I don't know. I don't be up in guys' mouths like that.
Man, come on.
Vlad,
It's not about being up in his mouth.
That's a you thing right now. I don't be up in guys' mouths.
You did see the video of him with no top teeth, right? Right? You want me to show you the picture? I'll show you the picture. Nah, man.
Nah, man. Why? Why are we talking about this?
Here we go.
Okay.
He has no top teeth.
All right. What does it mean?
It means that I feel sorry for Dame.
Why?
Because as someone who's in his early to mid 50s, you should have all your teeth still. That's what it means.
I mean, listen.
It means that you have been living a life and making decisions that's caused you to lose all your teeth.
Why are we putting expectations on people's teeth, man? Like, why are we even doing it? Why are we doing it?
I feel sorry. When I saw that, me and Dame, listen, and there's even someone right now that's trying to get me and Dame on the phone. And I've always said I'm always open to speaking to him on the phone. Mm-hmm. This is just some internet shit. I don't have any real beef with Dame.
Right.
Honestly. If Dame walked in this room right now, I'd say, what's up? I wouldn't try to do anything to him or anything else like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I would hope not.
You would hope correctly.
I would hope not. I mean, he ain't got much. He ain't nothing.
Me and Dame about the same size. Me and Dame are about the same size.
Yeah, but Dame used to box for years. Who knows?
Okay, and I used to box also.
All right.
You know what I'm saying?
All right, Dame Dash
we've
versus
all
Vlad.
been through. We've all been
Dame
violent.
Dash versus Vlad TV celebrity boxing match coming soon.
You don't know what would happen.
Would you do that?
I wouldn't box anybody at this point in my life.
Oh, you would? Yeah, because you're like
it's nothing to do with Dame. You know, I mean, Charleston White wanted to box me, and I'm like twice his size. I said no. You would do it.
Really? Nah, somebody came to me about doing that.
What, Charleston White?
No.
No, I'm saying you would box Charleston White.
No. Why?
Someone offered you $100,000 to box Charleston White with everything he said about your kids and everything else like that. You wouldn't do it?
It's all right for me. That doesn't make me feel good putting money into somebody's pockets that I actually have bad feelings towards.
You would actually be able to get in the ring with them and take all your aggression out. And you're an aggressive person.
No, but then I'd be putting $1 in their pocket. And that bothers me more. Because it's not like I'm going to be able to get off the way, if you really have that type of anger You're not going to be able to get off like that in a celebrity boxing match. They're going to put pillows on your hands, and they're going to stop it when it looks too violent.
And they're going to have headgear.
What would be the point?
Okay.
What would be the point?
Okay, so someone offered you $100,000 to get in the ring with Charleston White with regulation, with 10-ounce gloves, no headgear.
Again, no. Why? And it's not me harboring any hatred towards Charleston White. I just believe that when people cross a certain line, I might say something to make you understand that I don't fuck with what you did. But after that, it's like, you dead.
Okay, fair enough.
And not dead like, I'm gonna get you killed, I'm gonna do this, you just don't exist no more. And me putting $1 in your pocket, that's helping you exist. I'm not doing that.
My point when I said if I saw Dame, I wouldn't do anything to him, it means that if I saw anyone, I wouldn't do anything to them.
Right. You don't have no malice.
I don't have no
him.
malice, no physical. There's really, at one point I told myself that I don't want to get into any more physical altercations for the rest of my life.
Right.
You know, I mean, this is why if I feel that if I go into a situation where I may have to get physical with someone, I'll bring armed security or I just won't go. I'm not going to go into a situation knowing that I might have to get into a shoving match or I might have to, someone might punch me and I might have to punch him back.
So if I started a fight club, you wouldn't join Vlad?
No, I would
not. Why not, man?
I would not.
Why not? Yo, you got to keep your testosterone high. We get to a certain age.
I work out.
Yeah,
I'm in the gym every morning. Sometimes. I hit the weights. I hit the bike.
It's still not enough, man.
Okay, well,
not enough.
Getting punched in the face is not...
Don't let society soften you up to the point where you see some shit and you're like, oh, well, I'm running with the crowd. Nah, bro, we got to be. I'm
51, man. I'm 51.
51.
At a certain age, when you get damaged, it's more of a long-term, effect of it.
If you don't keep up.
If you punch any 90-year-old, there's a chance you might kill him no matter how well they're keeping up.
We ain't close to 90.
I'm just saying.
We ain't close to 90. There's still some 74-year-olds that could put some young bucks on their ass.
Yeah, you're right.
Because they stay ready.
But let's just say you get hit and you fall, your head hits the cement. You could end up dying. You see what I'm saying? Like that type of shit.
That's the worst.
Look, but here's the thing. The whole thing about if I saw Dame, I wouldn't do anything to him. It's not me trying to sound like a tough guy. It just means that
you don't have beef with him.
I don't have beef with him. And I remember he said some shit like, yeah, when I hear Vlad saying that shit, I want to smack the shit out of him. Not that I would do it, but I want to smack the shit out of him. It's just basically in reference to that. When I hear Dame talking about me, I don't want to smack the shit out of him.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right. Okay.
And at the end of the day, me and Dame are both men.
Right.
You know what I mean? Who knows who could fight better? Could he fight better than me? Could I fight better than him? Who knows? Who gets the drop? Who gets the first punch? Are there weapons around? Is there a knife around? Is there pepper spray around?
Your knife game is up, Vlad.
Hey, man, who knows? Who knows what I might have on me? Do I have a pistol on me? Who knows?
The pistol
who knows? You see what I'm saying? Well, my man, who he doesn't see, you saw what happened. Like I remember me and Whack 100 were talking about this. Remember when Stitches was into it with Game?
Yeah.
And he was spit on his car and whatever, and he ran up on Game. Didn't see Wax standing right next to him, and then pow, lights out.
Right.
You don't know. You're looking at the guy. You're not looking at the guy next to him, thinking that guy next to him is going to fucking knock you out. You don't know.
But I think anybody that goes into a situation like that with your camera out, trying to prove something to the public,
yeah,
you kind of lining yourself up. Man.
Yeah. Well, the T thing definitely was like, I felt bad for him. I actually felt bad for him. And now he's going through the whole sale of reasonable doubt. He offered to throw in a chain if someone bids $10 million, which to me is like throwing in an air freshener when you buy a new car.
No, it depends. Because, there's probably billionaires out there that love the whole Rockefeller movement. That would, that's nothing.
But that won't make you bid an extra couple million just to get the chain. The chain is not worth.
It wasn't an extra million. It was anyone that goes up to 1.5 was it?
No, he said 10 million.
10 million.
He said whoever bids over 10 million. And let me tell you something. Just to see, because I'm not an expert at this. I don't own any music, so I don't know how much music generates. But I talked to a friend of mine who used to be the president of the biggest publishing company in America. Good friend of mine. And I said, if you were just to eyeball how much reasonable doubt, like his 1/3 share of reasonable doubt makes in a year, what would you say? He said, well, if he also owns the publishing, in the best case, maybe $1 million a year. Maybe. With Jay-Z announcing that 5 years from now, he's going to get the rights back to it anyways.
Right.
The max you could probably get from that ownership is maybe $5 million. So my guess, and me and Esquino were kind of like, talking about this in our last interview. I would say that the winning bid is probably going to be between $2 and $3 million.
All right. So now let me ask you, if I have rights to that album, am I able to sample it, use it, flip it in any way that
you have 1/3 rights to the album? There's also samples that are used on it. There's also producers.
Right.
And so forth. So if you could sample it, and then you got to give everyone else who's associated with the rights to that music their payment as well. Just because you have 1/3 of it doesn't mean you could use it for yourself as much as possible. See what I'm saying?
I'm trying to think of what would be the way that you could.
It's really just bragging rights. Oh, I own a piece of reasonable doubt. Because you remember he said that Drake reached out, but clearly the number that Drake wanted to pay is not what he wanted to sell for. My guess is about $2 to $3 million.
$2 to $3 million?
That's what's going to be the winning bid. And honestly, I don't know why anyone would even buy it, considering that 5 years from now you're going to own none of it.
Well, of course, if Drake reaches out after we heard about this, I don't know when he did.
Yeah.
But we heard about this after the Super Bowl announcement. So is this a tit for tat thing? Oh, you fucking with my enemies, so I'm gonna go holler at yours, and just look petty. Let's look petty. Let's look petty. You know what I mean? I don't know.
I mean, whoever buys it has no effect on Jay-Z in 5 years because of
he gets it right back.
He gets it right back.
And then whoever buys it,
they'll just get royalties for those 5 years. That's it. That's it. It's not really much of a buyout. Let me put it like this: I wouldn't buy it.
Now,
I wouldn't pay for it.
Why do you think no one's bought it yet?
Well, I don't know if the bidding has actually officially started yet. I don't know how it works. Is there a cutoff time? Do you have to reach a certain floor? Whatever else. I think it's a court-ordered auction.
Right.
So I don't know how it works because it's being used to cover a lawsuit that he lost.
That's 870 something thousand.
Something like that. And obviously, Dame wants as much as he can out of it because he also owes, I think he said, $8 million in taxes and stuff like that. And listen, like I said, someone that knows both me and Dame are trying to get us on the phone, because the last time we spoke was about like 7 or 8 years ago. It was a text back and forth that got a little heated, but not to the point of being overly disrespectful. And then he decided to publicly talk about it. So I decided to publicly talk about it. And we've been going kind of tit for tat, publicly talking about each other since then. But it's not a big deal. Like, it's not any sort of real beef. Right. He actually has, if he would like to come back to Vlad TV, he could do it. And he could talk about whatever he wants to talk about. I'll run it all. I'm not going to cut it out. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times, two grown men working it out, makes for good content, and it sends a positive message out to everyone that we don't have to just keep talking shit about each other on the internet. We could actually sit down face to face, and we could talk about where each other's problems are. Because, for example, with me, I know where my fault was. The fault was something had happened with Jay-Z, and I said, hey, do you want to do an interview talking about that? And he said, why would I talk about another man? And then he turned around and did the video, and I kind of took it overly personal. Hey, man, I thought you said, you don't want to talk about it. And then he's like, well, I don't have to check in with you when I want to talk about it. It turned it back and forth. It was me being childish.
Yeah.
And me being in my feelings.
You were being bratty.
Me being bratty.
I thought you were going to give me the interview.
Yeah, exactly. And listen, there's lots of situations over the years where I've gotten way too emotional about interviews and stuff like that because...
Well, that's part of your passion, right?
It's part of my passion. I think what people don't realize is that, like, for a lot of people, they have their real job, their real career, And on the side, they do interviews, you know, for some extra promo, stuff like this. This is my whole life.
Right.
I'm looking at it differently than you're looking at it. Right. Not you, but just people in general.
Right.
So I'm going to take it more personally. I'm going to be more emotional. I'm going to be more immature. I'm going to be more petty. Right. And you're looking at this going, what's the big deal? It's just an interview. Well, no, this is everything. This is my legacy. This is you know, what I built my fortune on. Like, this is what I leave behind for future generations. So yeah, I was immature when it came to Dame. If he wanted to talk about Jay on his own, he has all the rights in the world to do that. And I apologize for my behavior.
All right,
and then he did what he did.
So basically, and I've been saying this, you guys don't really have a problem. You just need a conversation.
No, not at all. But I've been saying this.
Right.
Yeah, and if Dame wants an apology, I'm apologizing to Dame for my part in the initial conflict. You could say that I started it.
Right.
You know? But then when he went public with it, then I felt like he took it to a place that it didn't need to go either. We could have just worked it out privately as men. We didn't have to be chatty patties, like he liked to say, you know?
Yeah.
And that's where I feel that his mistake was, but it's really not that big of a deal. It's no one lost money, no one got hurt. No one talked about each other's families and said nasty things about kids or your significant other, or I'm not saying I'm gonna smoke your homie's dead pack or something stupid like that. Like, you know what I mean? Right. Like, you know, I didn't talk about Aaliyah because I understand how, you know, how important of a person that was in his life. I would never, you know, try to diminish that or use that as a way to hurt him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It was just, I'm gonna talk shit about Vlad and I'm gonna talk shit about Dave. This has been going on for like 8 years. We've never run into each other, you know, never seen each other in person.
No.
And yeah, like I said, but I apologize for my part in it. I kind of started it.
Right.
I admit to it.
But you said you feel sorry for him now.
Seeing him with no teeth made me feel sorry for him. Yeah. We should all have teeth. It's a statement about our current health as we get into our 50s.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Every year that you know, as you get into your 50s, your 60s, your 70s, it becomes more and more important to maintain your health. For example, have you ever seen an obese 70-year-old? No, you have not.
No, I haven't. Wow.
It doesn't exist.
Yo, yeah, real shit. That weight will probably knock you off before you hit 70.
When you look at most rappers who have the name big, heavy, large, fat in their names, they don't make it past their 50s.
It's not true.
Rest in peace, Fat Man Scoop.
Large Professor. Gotcha.
Yeah, but he's not talking about his actual physical size. Right. People have those names that talk about their actual physique.
Right.
Heavy D.
No, I
Two-thirds of the fat boys. Big Pun died in his 20s.
Listen.
All from weight.
At a certain age, you know, you start to, I don't know if it happened with you yet. You start to feel just different shit in your body.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You get more in tune with it. Recently, I had a scare. I was waking up in the middle of the night and my stomach would be out to here.
Huh.
And I had to go talk to a specialist, and they kind of broke things down to me. At a certain age, you just gotta protect your gut and be very mindful of your stomach. Your stomach is like, you know, your second brain. And you gotta be careful what you put in. If you're gonna put a lot of bullshit in here, don't put a lot of bullshit in here either. So, and I remember, like, throughout the years, just losing friends that went into the hospital, rest in peace, PH, with a stomach ache and never came out. You know, you really do have to be very mindful. For everybody that's watching right now, like, be mindful, man. Really think about this shit. Like, the stuff that you're putting in your system, some of that stuff is still sitting in there.
Yeah.
From like 10 years ago. Now think about that. Would you eat food that was sitting out for 10 years? But imagine that just sitting in your gut and what it's doing to the lining of your stomach, your intestines, and all that shit. Right.
You interviewed Bimmy. Recently, I interviewed Bill Courtney. He was an ex-NYPD detective who worked around a lot of the hip-hop guys and stuff like that. He said that there was, people were trying to say that Bimmy snitched and cooperated. He said that just wasn't true. He'd never heard of it.
Right.
He said if it happened, it wasn't ever on his radar. And he talked about a lot of people who snitched and cooperated. Lots of them. But he said Bimmy was not one of those. But he was getting these allegations recently. And I've interviewed Bimmy as well. I'm cool with Bimmy.
Right.
What's your take on this whole thing?
When you're involved in like street activity, a lot of this stuff, it's life or death.
Yeah.
Your reputation, the people that you associate with, what kind of individual you are, whether you stand on business or whether you a fuckboy. You pretty much go with the flow and you follow the wind wherever it blows, and whoever got the bread is in control of what your next move. You know what I mean? Bimmy comes from a lot of people that in hip hop, well, not just hip hop, but in the streets, because I don't want to make it a hip hop thing, but in the streets, these guys were men of honor. These guys were stand-up individuals. These guys were dangerous. When they said something, they meant it, and they stood on it. And that was something you couldn't play with. Before Bimmy came to my show, I reached out to a couple of people that I know, was in certain circles around that time. And I asked him like, yo, you hear, you know about this, anything? And they said, listen, man, if that shit was true, it would have came out decades ago. I don't know where all this new shit is coming from. People mad, somebody, I don't know. A lot of things could happen. Nowadays, it's like morality, people sacrifice that shit for views and a couple dollars now. And if I say this about you and I feel like I'm gonna make some money off of it, or I'm gonna get some attention, I guarantee you there are millions of people on YouTube right now for that very sole purpose of saying something that they don't even have to believe is true. But it's gonna bring them a couple dollars. Now, the argument that a lot of people make is that one of his homies, Troy or whatever, there was a confidential CI, a CI, and his code name was Music. Now, some people are ignorant. They don't understand what a cop out is. Bimmy copped out to a charge. He got three to life.
Yeah, we talked about it.
Which was his label and all that shit. And everyone else who fought it ended up doing crazy numbers. I don't know if there's a correlation between that and then this, and people are mixing it together. I don't know. Personally, there's a part of me that, just on a moral standpoint, I don't like liars. I don't like people who don't stand up for their people. I don't like those type of people around me. But then there's this other side of me that's like, we're hearing this from the fucking internet, bro. It's not on paper. His name isn't written anywhere. And yeah, people do make the argument like, well, if you're a confidential informant, your name ain't gonna be there. But then why we even talk? Why we speculating? Who's the person that actually knows? And you just said someone who's investigated this type of shit or was part of these investigations just said that he wasn't. Why is it still a conversation? And the reason why is because people are gonna go click.
No, I feel you. Listen, I've always had a good relationship with Bimmy.
Right.
Point blank period. From when I ran into him when he was with Waka Flocka, we did a music video together. I was in Waka's video actually. You know what I mean? We kicked it, we laughed, we drank. He came on my show. It was a dope interview. I have only positive things to say. I'm cool with the sister, Deb.
Right.
You know, and I'm cool Waka Flocka last I checked.
Right.
We haven't seen each other or talked to each other in a long time.
Right.
You know, it is what it is. And if I could clear up a false rumor, I will go out of my way to do that.
Right.
And that's what I did when Bill Courtney came on my show. I asked him about that. He goes, yeah, because I've heard that too, but I've never experienced this when I was with law enforcement.
I just don't understand.
And he was one of the main investigators on the Supreme team, you know? And look, I mean...
Well, then again, but then somebody's going to make the argument like, why would one of the investigators give up their CI?
Well, it wasn't his CI.
You see what I'm saying? Like, but it's shit like that. Like, either you going to believe it or you're not going to believe it. Whatever the fuck. You all getting your information from a third, fourth, fifth-hand source anyway. You know what I'm saying? There's nobody sitting here saying, I was in the court when Bimmy took the stand, or I was in the other room and I put my ear against the wall and I heard him say it was that guy. It's all speculative shit. So I think that why it keeps revolving is because Bimmy keeps trying to speak. He keeps responding to it.
Yeah.
And as long as motherfuckers feel like, what? I can have my name in the mix with somebody who was actually a somebody, I'm gonna keep saying this or I'm gonna keep saying that.
You're always in a weird position because, you know, I know when I get these false accusations about me, it's like you're sitting there at a crossroad going, do I address it and say it's false? And then people say, oh, it must be true because he's saying it's false.
You gave me a rule for this. Do you remember?
What's the rule?
Never respond to anything that doesn't have 100,000 views. Because at that point, you got to say something.
Yeah.
Before that, was like...
Look, I remember Johnny Blaze, she was mad at me over a flashback that we posted, and she started posting a whole bunch of false stuff about me. And I remember I was like, should I deny that this is true? Because it's not. There was like a photo that's not me, you know, with the face fuzzed out. Mm-hmm. So I just went to her and said, look, like, this isn't me. You know, and she's like, well, you know, someone sent it to me. I don't know if it's real or not. And I'm like, okay, is the problem the video that I posted of you? Because if that's the problem, I'll take the video down. But you have to publicly say that there's no authenticity to what you posted. She's like, that's fair. You know, and she posted that. Mm-hmm. So then the people that were reposting it, and it was starting to go like getting a bunch of views on Twitter, I sent them that. I'm saying, look, this is fake. Here's Johnny saying it's fake, or, you know, she can't authenticate any of it.
Vlad, you paid her off. That's
I didn't pay her anything.
You gave her 50 grand.
Yeah, I got the DMs.
You know what I mean? Her next post, she had the buggy out Benz.
I got the DMs. I'm looking at this picture, and I'm like, okay, first of all, the guy in the picture whose face is fuzzed out has earrings. I've never had earrings in my life. You can look at my ears. There's no scars. You know what I'm saying? So this is definitely not me. And then there was this weird text message thing with a number that was not mine. You know what I mean? I'm like, none of this is me. It really is not me. And this is why I feel comfortable speaking about it, because it's really not me.
Right.
You know, but it's like, I feel it's always better to just go to the source and get the source to actually say, okay, I'm the one who started this, and therefore, and I can't stand behind it either. You know what I mean? And sometimes you can get the source to do that.
Sometimes,
not always.
But if you call them like 50 times in one day.
Right. Then you get the whole Diddy treatment. They might revoke your bail.
It might not give you bail.
It might not give you bail.
You know what I'm saying? If you calling somebody like, you got to make this right. You got to tell her the truth.
Yeah.
You know, they might not give you bail,
But a lot of times,
bro.
I mean, most people are reasonable, man. Like most people. And here's the thing. Like, you also, if you really put yourself in a fucked up situation and start lying about people, and you're talking about someone with money, they may be petty enough to just sue the fuck out of you. And you could ignore it, but chances are you're going to have to hire a lawyer and start spending your own money, because no lawyer's going to take a defense on contingency.
Right.
Like, look what happened to Tasha K. She kept poking at Cardi over and over again until Cardi said, okay, I got an extra $1 million lying around. I'm just going to prove a point.
Just go in.
I know I'm not going to really get this money, but I'm going to...
Tasha hasn't stopped either.
Which I don't understand.
Is what it is.
I mean, listen.
I mean, if that's your life, that's your life, you know? Like,
look,
she
at one point...
I wouldn't want to live a life where I felt like I had to, do malicious shit and
yeah. Tasha made a video lying about me, and I reached out to her and said, "This is false. You need to remove this." And although she was mad about it and called me a bunch of names, she did remove it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because she knew she couldn't stand on it because it just wasn't true.
Right.
I just don't understand why people have this weird thing sometimes where it's like they know they're doing wrong. They'll like repost your stuff without permission. They know they're infringing on copyrights. You know, they're doing shit they shouldn't be doing wrong, and you give them a chance to fix it, and they get defiant about it. You know what I mean?
What's the base of it?
What do you mean?
What's the base of it? The base of what makes someone do that?
I don't know.
What are you getting out of it when you post it?
Views, clout, attention.
I think some people were deprived of some sort of attention, and the internet provided a way that they
this
can
is 100%
keep
true.
getting their dosage.
This is 100%
And
true.
even though they know what they're doing is wrong, they know they're lying, they know their sources inaccurate, they know that they're peoples whose lives are going to be very, very disturbed by what you're doing, they do it anyway.
Yeah, it's all they got. Yeah, I feel you. Yeah, listen, I have all the attention I want. I could get more when I want it. You know, I try to remain accurate in what I do. But yeah, I'm not just going to sit there and make up a whole bunch of insane shit that I can't stand behind just so it can go
twist
viral.
And turn it and
say
I'm cool. Malicious shit about people.
And you know, listen, I wouldn't want to be in Tasha's shoes right now having to constantly deal with this court case that hasn't gone away, knowing I owe over $1 million, having to hide my money, and I heard she's putting stuff in Africa and all types of, you know, not being able to just freely live your life and earn your living because you have this hanging over your head. And Tasha had the opportunity to make all this go away by simply just removing the posts. They told her, this is false, just remove it. And she's like, no, I ain't doing shit. You're not gonna tell me what to do. And they told her what to do. You know, you could be as tough as you want with somebody, can't be tough with the court system. Doesn't work.
One thing I learned about just being tough, there's always gonna be somebody. There's always gonna come a point. You can't keep that up forever.
Yeah.
You can't keep it up forever. And then the time is gonna come where we're gonna see how tough you are.
Right. You saw it happen to Jook at the highest levels. Jook was the boogeyman, and the whole industry was scared of him.
Yeah.
People in the Universal building were scared of him. His picture was on the security room. There was an armed security guard in front because he had threatened the president. Mm-hmm. And then one day someone knocked him out, a barber. In a straight one-on-one fight, he got hit, you know?
And you never want to be the guy, because I felt like I've been there before. The guy that people felt like, yeah, he finally got his. It's not a good feeling.
No.
You know what I'm saying? And it will stare you like, I don't want to be the person that people are like cheering while my life is just burning down. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to be that person. So, yeah, I wash my hands of all the dirty shit, all the dirty players and all that stuff. Like, if that's how y'all want to live your lives, go ahead, do your motherfucking thing. But just know, the day is coming.
Yeah.
It's coming.
It's going to be someone younger, tougher, crazier.
There's nothing you could do about it.
Less to lose.
Yeah.
More hungry for fame.
More hungry for fame. Is just you're basically gonna get eaten by yourself.
Pretty much, yeah.
So what's the point?
YSL Woody. Now
that guy is so interesting. He's gonna end up with a fucking movie deal.
Man, listen.
He's gonna end up with a fucking movie deal.
If you told me that somebody's gonna take the stand and tell in a high-profile murder case and that will result in him getting sponsored posts, paid interviews.
It's not. It's kind of the age that we live in.
He spoke at a law school. Did you see that video?
He spoke at a law school.
Thurgood Marshall Law School at a HBCU, I believe in Texas. Thurgood Marshall was the first black Supreme Court judge.
Right, I know that.
This is a very important figure, and this is an important law school if you think about the name. He spoke to the class of a law school. He was, I'm sure, paid and flown out to speak at a law school. He's doing 20 versus 1s. You see him in videos with money and jewelry and cars. I didn't see this one coming. I'm sorry. This was not in my bingo card in 2024.
You gotta understand that the shit that you see is the highlight reel. None of that shit is someone on the sideline unexpectedly recording him. You know what I mean? It's the highlight reel. We have no idea how that man feels on the inside. We have no idea what his actually day-to-day life is. You know what I mean? I think that there was something to be respected about him, at least on a street level before. Now it's like everyone's, getting a grab at a spectacle. It's like, do they really fuck with you, or is it all this other shit?
Yeah, I mean, look, he took the stand, but he tried to say that he's lying, he doesn't remember, and so forth.
It's not that he's trying to say.
He's trying to do.
I think he's actually, I lied. I believe him when he says, I lied every time the cops talk to me.
Listen, but the whole case is sort of built around him and his testimony with the cops.
And now you're realizing we built this case around somebody who just lies, like just fuck it. I'm trying to get out this motherfucker. I don't want to sit here. I'm gonna lie to you, like.
Yeah.
But again, what is the purpose of this case again?
It's a RICO case. It's based around a murder.
Okay, so have they? How do you think this shit is going? Like from your point of view.
Here's what I think. I think that Young Thug will probably be found guilty.
On what?
On certain charges.
Certain.
Yeah.
I
don't think RICO.
Time
No.
served.
I don't think it'll be a time served. I think he'll get, like, let's say a 10, 15-year sentence.
For what?
But hold on, let me finish. But I think that there was so many things that happened along the trial is that he will get an appeal and will probably get a mistrial, and they'll have to try it over. And at that point, considering what they just went through, the longest trial in Georgia state history, and they keep breaking their own record every day. This trial goes on.
On and on and on.
Right? It's not going to be done until 2025. I think they're going to, once there is a mistrial and there is an appeal, they're probably going to give him like a time served plus a few other years. Because keep in mind, there's also the drugs found at his house. There's also the switches, which is that in and of itself could get you 10 years.
Right.
That by itself, take everything else out of the equation.
Who's taking those charges?
They found him in his house. There's probably his fingerprints on it, is my guess.
If they are.
Yeah, I'm just saying. So I think that he'll probably, I don't know, maybe 10 years when the dust settles, including time served. That'd be my guess. I don't think they're just going to let him go. I don't think so.
I think he's gonna beat it.
All right, we'll see. We don't know. You and I don't have any sort of inside information.
No, we don't. But the information that's being shared with us just looks like the stupidest shit in the world.
Yeah,
like,
it looks
ridiculous.
insane. It looks absolutely insane.
Man, oh man.
Well, the young Dolph trial is going on right now.
Rest in peace of Dolph.
Yeah. I didn't interview him myself, but he did an interview on my platform, which I appreciate. But they were saying in the opening arguments, and the trial's now starting, that Yo Gotti's brother, Big Jook, ordered a $100,000 hit on young Dolph. And I guess the shooter was supposed to receive $40,000 of that, but he only got $800.
800?
800. Imagine killing a high-profile rapper and your prize for that is buying a PS5 with a few games. That's what your payment is. As you're playing NBA 2K with your murder money, about to get picked up by the police to do life in prison, possibly the death penalty. This is what you got. You got $800. Big Jook is dead, by the way.
Yeah,
he
I know
got
that.
killed.
I know that.
I'm not putting.
You're not speculating. Yeah,
no.
Yeah,
Big Jook is dead. It doesn't matter. It does put a very nasty stain on Yo Gotti, though.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No. You know me, bro. I'm like, I don't think so. I will say we don't know if it's true.
This is true. We
don't know if it's true.
I will say
and
this.
To be honest, damn, they play with shooters out there like that. That's crazy. That's crazy. So you just murdered a nigga. I'm gonna give you $800. Yeah, I don't believe you. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it sounds
like,
crazy.
You caught the man down? Yeah. But here's 800. What, nigga?
Yeah, listen. Whenever I talk to people like Terrence Gangster Williams, he never had problems collecting his money.
Yeah, that like.
Well, because think about it, you don't pay the shooter. Who you think?
What the fuck you think
shooter
you're in
gonna
the
do?
trunk, nigga? You're waking up in the trunk, bro. Like, we're smelling like gasoline. That's what's happening. You know what I mean?
Look,
like,
I can tell you, as someone who has covered the back and forth back when they were, when everyone was alive and everything, and looking into this situation, I have yet to find any sort of really serious reason as to the beef between Young Dolph and Yo Gotti. I heard it was over a girl. I heard it was over maybe Gotti was trying to sign Dolph and Dolph didn't want to sign to him. I've heard that before. Mm-hmm. I heard people using, both of them were trying to say they're the king of Memphis. All just silly typical rapper shit that really everyone could laugh off at some point.
Right.
Everyone was rich. Everyone had beautiful cars, houses, families, kids, big bank accounts. Like,
businesses.
Not to the point of actually shooting at each other or putting up $100,000 hits on people or whatever else. Like, it makes no fucking sense. I hope that there was a deeper reason for all this tragedy. So at least someone could justify it on some level.
Well, what was the reason that Suge wanted Tupac to go at Puffy and Big?
Well, I think Pac wanted to go at Puffy and Big.
Remember, Pac didn't diss these guys till he came out of jail.
Well, he also went to jail right after all the shit happened, the shooting and everything else like that.
Right.
It all happened fairly quickly.
But you didn't hear anything. There were interviews. You didn't hear anything.
Well, keep in mind, Biggie dropped that song,
Who Shot You?
Who Shot You, which I remember I talked to the producer and they said it had nothing to do with Pac. But the timing of it was awful. It was awful. Mm-hmm. And I think Diddy probably realized that and said, I'm just going to drop this and create a little more controversy because Pac is probably never getting out or not getting out for many years and it doesn't matter. Pac was Pac. Like, Pac was wild. You know what I mean? Pac was dissing everybody. Like, I don't necessarily... Now, was Suge backing him up? I'm sure of it. But I don't think that Suge was the reason why Pac did that. And I know the Outlaws. Like, me and Edie are friends. Like, I never got that impression. I never heard Pac wanted to come out and be all kumbaya and Suge said, no, I want you to diss all the people I don't like. I haven't heard that. I haven't heard it.
So Suge Knight goes to what? Was it the Source Awards? When he said, if you don't want the, executive producer, all of them videos, all of them in the background, try to be the star, come to Death Row.
True.
Declaration of war.
And this was
right?
Pac, when I think Pac was still locked up, or Pac, like he wasn't,
Right.
Pac wasn't on stage when all this was happening.
Declaration of war. Then he goes and gets Tupac.
Right.
Tupac comes out and says, they set me up.
I see where you're going with this.
I've heard this story so many times.
Did Suge put the battery in his back? I'm sure he contributed to it.
Okay, but
And,
all right.
and I'm sure Suge said, and don't worry about any ramifications because we got you.
We got you.
I got an army of fucking lunatics here that will do whatever you want them to do. They'll beat up whoever, they'll shoot at whoever, they'll stab whoever.
Now, Puff and Suge was once friends.
Yes.
They pick each other up from the airport, all types of shit.
Yeah, I heard that.
Young Dolph, Yo Gotti, is it the same dumb shit? Like we can make a come up off of this. Us having beef somehow was just keeping people like I don't understand.
Yeah, but remember.
I don't understand getting millions of dollars and being like, yo, it's on, nigga. I don't understand it.
Remember in L.A., Dolph got shot up.
Over,
and the people who shot him were affiliated with Yo Gotti. I remember that.
Over.
Who knows?
Over.
And remember, they shot up his car, but it was bulletproof. Remember?
Yeah, 100 shots, right?
And, Dolph would make songs about it, bragging how he's bulletproof and y'all didn't get me and blah, 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 blah.
Right.
It seemed to me like Dolph wasn't the aggressor.
Yeah, I mean, I never heard about another 100 shots in the other direction.
Well, Big Jook got killed.
This is after Dolph got killed.
Right. Meaning that someone around Dolph, my guess, was retaliating. That would be my guess. I don't know. I mean, was the guys who killed, or the guy who killed Big Jook, was he ever arrested or anything? I'm not sure about this part of it.
Computer sitting right in front of you.
Yeah, let's figure it out.
But I'll say this: Memphis is one of those territories where there's just a lot of shit going on. It's just a lot of shit going on. I hope they just figure it out, bro. I hope they figure it out.
The trial is going, so at this point it's being figured out.
But why is the trial going? Because I heard he confessed to it.
Oh, there was multiple shooters. I mean, there was multiple people involved in the conspiracy. Yeah.
One of them confessed yesterday.
Yeah. So he's probably confessing against the other people because there was multiple people involved in the situation. Yeah, man. Listen, it's sad. I thought that Dolph was a dope ass rapper. People like Boosie were good friends with him. What I mean? Like, I didn't know him personally.
Personally, I think it was dope that he became business partners with a lot of his homies and created new businesses. I thought that part of him was
his label is still doing well. Yeah, I mean, for example, Key Glock is still doing well. Mm-hmm. So that whole thing that he started is still going. Yeah, man, it's sad. It's sad. I hate to see it. And Key Glock is Dolph's cousin by marriage.
Right.
So they're related in their own way. Yeah, man, Dolph left behind a bunch of kids. He left behind money, which is good, but I think the kids would rather have him than the money.
Yeah. That's always the case. But I gotta say, man, like, when you get into when you make it, when you become successful, when you achieve a dream, the danger around you is usually just people that's just really uncomfortable with success or your success.
You have to separate yourself, man. You can't.
Yeah, you can't.
You can't hang around a bunch of people who are financially struggling that you're not helping out. It's going to create levels of problems.
But my thing is just,
You'll never be able to help enough. Okay? Unless you move out your house and give them the keys to your car and hand over your bank account info, you haven't done enough. And if you really think about it, take one step back. Look at all the problems that happen in hip hop. 99% of the time, the actual artist isn't the one who's making the problems. It's always the entourage. Am I right?
Yeah, it's true.
It's always someone around them that's dumbing out, crashing out.
Trying to prove themselves
to the main artist, doing dumb shit. Like look at the Young Thug situation. You know, the one thing, if you gain anything from the Young Thug trial, I want you to get this. This is to the people who are watching. As big of an artist as Young Thug is, people like Rick Rubin think that he's brilliant. Millions of fans, Drake respects him. Major pop stars think that he is like the most creative genius lyricist, and the way he harmonizes and everything else like that. Everyone wants to work with him. He had a bunch of really raggedy dudes around him.
Why call him raggedy, man? Why call him raggedy?
Man, listen, remember the guy that was on trial that was like doing hand gestures and acting like he was crazy? You got YSL Woody, who's telling the prosecutor that she stinks, and, is like, this is not who multimillionaires surround themselves with.
This is
Look at LeBron. Do you think LeBron has a Woody around him? No. LeBron went and brought his friends with him, but all his friends needed to go.
LeBron isn't selling that lifestyle. That's authentic. That is the authenticity of Thug's lyrics.
Well, the authenticity had him sitting in jail now for almost 2 years. Yes, you're the realest, Thug. Good job. Keep all these people around you. As soon as you get out, embrace them all and give them cars.
But unfortunately, by design, this shit is highlighted. This lifestyle is highlighted.
How long have you known me?
I've known you, well over a decade now.
Well over a decade.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen a whole bunch of crazy people around me?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Who?
You got your early coworkers. There's a lot going on.
Okay, and I had to learn.
Right,
and I had to learn.
Right.
Now, anyone you see around me is professional, is polite, is not loud, is there for a reason.
Make a hit record.
Is doing a job.
Make a hit record out of that. Right.
I'm not a lyricist.
All right, but I'm just saying. You're talking about people. His name is Young Thug. Authenticity.
Well, he needs to turn into Mature Thug.
Yeah.
Because
Mature Thug doesn't work either. It doesn't go hand in hand. Either you're a thug or you're mature.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
Look, the Jay-Z's of the world don't have a bunch of lunatics around them.
No, but he does. And there is always some sort of remnants of his old
There
life,
is some
transformed.
But all those people had to evolve. I honestly think that at some point, although Dame did contribute heavily to the early Rockefeller days, no one is going to rewrite history and say that Dame was not a key part of Rockefeller's success. Mm-hmm. Dame fought hard for, to let people recognize Jay-Z's talent when people were overlooking him.
Right.
He would be the one that would be yelling and screaming. He was an early believer.
Right.
And he was right. He was an early believer in Kanye. He was an early believer in Cameron when Cameron was sort of in limbo and so forth. And when we brought him over to Rockefeller, Cameron I don't know if Cameron would be where he is today if it wasn't for Dame believing in him way back when.
Right.
And getting that Rockefeller look. A lot of really dope rappers out there who I have respected, like the Mike Geronimos and so forth, who are, were not given those chances after their initial run, didn't get to progress in their career as well as they should have.
Right.
And I think Mike Geronimo's dope. People like Bad Seed, I thought was dope. They just weren't given the chances, and they didn't have someone like a Dame believing in them and pushing them hard.
Right.
I get that. But after a while, I think Jay saw Dame as a liability. He's slapping Steve Stout. He's yelling at everyone. You know what I'm saying? He's creating more problems than solutions. And ultimately, I think Jay had to move on and leave certain people behind.
I don't think you.
That's what I think.
I hear what you're saying. But you got to remember, these guys were like this. So when Dame is slapping Steve Stout, Jay is stabbing on. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's a good point.
Like, bro, let's not forget that these were like brothers.
That's a good point.
You feel what I'm saying?
I'm not doubting that.
I do believe
it's a good point.
I do believe that at some point there's a divide and conquer type thing going on, and for some reason I don't understand. I think Biggs and Jay was able to get past it, and Dame and Jay wasn't.
Yeah, listen, Biggs and Jay are still in a good space.
Yeah.
Last I checked.
So
now, I know Biggs. I've interviewed him multiple times. Biggs has a different personality though. Biggs has always
Biggs
been
on Twitter. He's a fucking guru.
Yeah,
he is a fucking guru on Twitter, bro.
Well, but in terms of positivity,
but just life lessons and like these mini quotes. Just like, oh, I'm gonna take that with me through life. It's amazing. I don't know I don't know if that's him. If it's him, then, bruh, all this time, write a book, something. But
well, I think the thing with Biggs is that I think that Biggs was clearly aware of where he was in the grand scheme of it. You know what I'm saying? I think that he understood that I think he was funded the whole thing initially, doing whatever he was doing. I
think they all did.
Yeah, but I heard that Biggs was sort of like the big dog in the streets out of those three. That's what I heard. That's what I heard. And I think Biggs realized how privileged of a position he was in, considering that he wasn't the rapper and, he wasn't like the big personality that Dame was. You know what I'm saying? He's more quiet and low-key. And I think that he played his position and was always humble. And I've had multiple interviews with him as well as conversations with him. Right. That's just him in terms of his personality. Some people will say, look, like a Tony Yayo, right? Tony Yayo was clearly aware of his position in the grand scheme of things when it comes to G-Unit.
Right.
At no point is Tony going to say, I'm a better rapper than 50. At no point will Yayo say anything negative about 50. And Yayo will even say that regardless of where the relationship is, they've had their ups and downs over the years.
Right.
He said, regardless of where me and 50 are on any given day, I'm not going to take a picture with 50's ops like a Young Buck did. See what I'm saying? Or like a Lloyd Banks did.
Right.
See what I'm saying? Because he understands where he is, and he even would say things like, look.
That's going too far.
Really?
No, it is going too far.
Explain.
Like taking a picture with an op, shit like that. Like it shows your character.
Right.
Like
Lloyd Banks took a picture with Game.
If you
and 50 and Lloyd Banks were not the same after that.
Like if you look at like what people popularize now. I saw a post by Mano. Shout out to Mano. And he was like, I don't want to be the guy that people contact you so that you can talk about another guy that you used to be cool with. And there's a lot of guys that's running around right now. I mean, Yayo, his loyalty, that's just, I don't know. You don't run into that every day.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people that, I don't know. They just get emotionally reckless, or they don't know, they don't understand the scale of the shit that they're doing.
Yeah.
And despite, I believe sometimes it's due to drugs, it's due to whatever they're going through in life at that moment, and they're just casting blame and being as vindictive as they can, and then they're sorry later.
Yeah, but that doesn't work for everybody.
It doesn't.
Especially when the other person is so far above you in terms of their status, their impact, their money, whatever else. They don't have to make it right with you.
Right.
Now they could say, okay, thank you for the apology. I'm not going to keep taking shots at you, but that doesn't mean I'm going to let you back in.
Yeah. So somebody recently reached out and said they wanted to apologize to me. Okay. Someone that used to be on the show. And I was like, and I guess got back to them and they're back online talking shit again. This is what I'm saying.
Right.
Like
well,
it's an unstable behavior. Like it's just
exactly.
You can't call it with them. I understand why people are upset that 50 recorded Young Buck.
Yeah.
But what it was like, yo, y'all don't see this shit as like unstable. Like this nigga's unpredictable.
Right.
1 minute is fuck me and this, that, and the next minute is this.
Crying,
this is what I'm dealing with over here. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I don't agree with recording conversations and shit like that, but sometimes it's like, yo, it's easy to believe it's me because I'm the rich one. For some reason, y'all just want to believe we all fucked up. If he made it, he's rich, yeah, he's probably fucked up. He's jerking niggas, he's doing this, he's doing that. Sometimes it's not that. So sometimes the people around you feel obligated to something that they don't deserve, and they're abusing your kindness. And the day that you say no, they get mad and they go on tantrums and start dragging your name and shit like that. Like,
yeah, and some tantrums you could recover from, and some tantrums you can't.
Yeah,
and it has to do with everyone, and also when you apologize to someone, you can't expect them just to accept your apology right then and there.
Sometimes your actions closes doors that apologies can't open.
Exactly. And sometimes, at some later point, the person might accept your apology and whatever else. But a lot of times, look, and Yayo would even say, like, he learned early on that success is not handed out to everyone evenly. There's only one Eminem. There's only one 50 Cent. There's only one Dr. Dre. Everyone around them didn't get to share
in that
same level.
Right.
There's only one of them.
Right.
Tony Yayo, I've said this, his superpower is his loyalty. And the way we've established our relationship over the years, I've seen it the way he interacts with me. By the way, everyone's saying that Yayo's done with Vlad, and, he's 50's paying him millions not to do any other interviews. Right. I actually just ran into 50 on a plane.
Right. Yeah,
we were both flying to Houston, and he walked past me. I'm like, oh shit! So I walked up to him, and we had a conversation.
Right.
And I was like, oh, Yayo said you hate me.
That's why 50 hates your ass.
50 hates me?
Hell yeah.
No, seriously, 50 hates me.
Yes.
Really? I don't believe it. 50 hates me, but you do interviews with me.
Yes, 50 hates you. Banks hate you too.
Well, Banks, I understand why Banks hates me. You know what I'm saying? That's fine. 50
I love
hates
you,
me? Really?
Yeah, you talk about him too much.
He laughed, and I was like, no, man. And like, oh, Pierre said that, you hate when I do interviews. Like, no, bro, I love when y'all guys do interviews, man. Right. I think it's dope that, you have them on your show.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, I like what you guys are doing. So, you got to understand that me and Yayo, we play up certain things for the camera.
It's fun.
You know what I'm saying? Because
I didn't understand that.
Yeah, you didn't understand that.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. If 50 actually hated DJ Vlad, you would not see Tony Yayo on Vlad TV at all.
Right. Because that's the type of relationship.
Right. I don't hold a candle. What I've done with Yayo, and I think I've contributed to his career. I've gotten him more visible. He's gotten more shows and features and everything else like that. Doesn't hold a candle to what 50's done to his life. I know that I will never hold the weight of what 50 holds, especially because they came up as kids and everything else like that, and the strength of the relationship and the seriousness of the situations they've gotten into with all their beefs and the shootings and the stabbings and whatever else. Right. Me and Yayo have a cool business relationship, and I know my place when it comes to the hierarchy of where I stand in terms of his life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But he fully understands. You will never hear Yayo saying, I'm a better rapper than 50. I'm the reason why G Unit blew up. I'm the real reason, it wasn't 50. I wrote all of 50's hooks. Like you've never heard him say that publicly or privately.
Right.
Because his superpower is his loyalty, and he's a really loyal dude. And he's looked out for me and told me shit that people were saying about me and stuff like that. Just so I would know, not because he was trying to gain anything out of it or cause drama. It's like, yo, just so you know, this person was saying this when they're around me. So I just want to let you know that you may think you're cool with this person, but you're really not.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I think it's a dope superpower to have. Is Yayo gonna drop the next Get Rich or Die Trying? I don't think so, and I don't think he thinks so either.
Right.
And that's cool.
Right.
No one's tripping off that.
That's fine.
Yeah.
But, certain other people, egos, drugs, whatever it is, gets involved, feelings, all types of shit. It just gets nasty, man. It just gets nasty.
By the way, in case I forget to say this, congratulations on getting 1 million subs on YouTube.
First milli.
First milli.
It felt good because I got the 1 million while I was on live.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I got a little emotional. The video's up on my channel.
Nice.
But yeah, I got really emotional. Of course, I'm holding it back because, black man, no feelings. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? But it was like, wow, so many people throughout the years just doubted me.
I was not one of those, by the way.
You was never one of those.
I was never one of those.
And Vlad, you understand that people don't understand why I fuck with you. They don't understand, like, they really don't get it. They look at all this other shit that you go through with other people, and they think that I'm supposed to take some sort of stance with it. I don't give a fuck about none of that.
Yeah.
You were one of the first people to tell other people in front of me, he's gonna be the biggest thing to come out of battle rap.
Mm-hmm. It was honest, though. You know what I mean? I wasn't trying to gas you up. I had no advantage. You weren't my security or anything else like that. Nah, we was just cool. And I was just telling you how I felt.
And this was at a time where I was fucking renting a room uptown.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm like, word? And you need that. You know what I'm saying? And I don't, I might not agree with everything. I don't have to agree with everything that you do. I have to agree with some of the stances, some of the things that you whatever you go through with other people. I don't have to fucking agree with it, but I do have to know that, all right, this is the energy I get from this individual. Mm-hmm. And I know that's genuine.
Yeah.
And I know there's a lot of you motherfuckers that call me complaining about him, and you're fake as fuck. You're fake as shit, and I know it. I just don't say it to you.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? And you motherfuckers could complain all day long. I don't give a fuck. This motherfucker believed in me a long time ago, and he's never done no fake shit with me. So, go ahead with that shit.
But I've always felt like we should all come up together. And it doesn't mean we have to partner. It doesn't mean that we have to split our money or pay each other or whatever else.
Right.
Everyone who's motivated to do this shit that are in similar spaces, be it other media people, battle rappers, singers, traditional rappers, producers, label people, whatever, we should all be trying to work together towards a common goal. And we will all do better by doing that. Now, when I feel like I'm being slighted, 50's words always kind of ring in my head. You get money, I can't get nothing with you, then fuck you. I get that way sometimes. I know it's not a good way to be, but like, if I meet with you and we talk and you say, okay, yeah, cool, let's do some shit together, whatever else, and then I reach out and I get the runaround, then I'm like, fuck you then. You know what I mean? I know it's not a good way to be. It's me being immature and petty, but I feel like I'm extending my hand to you. I bring a lot to the table, especially on the YouTube side, because I've been doing it longer than anybody.
Right.
And I feel like if you fuck with me, it will not be one-sided. I will always give back in one way or another.
Right.
So when you just act like after you told me something and then you give me the Hollywood runaround, then it's like, all right, fuck you then. And that's where some of these
discrepancies come
these
from.
things happen, and why, Vlad's, he's always trolling or he's doing this and getting into it with this person or another. It's because like, okay, well, I got a fuck you kind of reaction, so it's fuck you too.
Right.
But had any of these people spent the time to actually say, okay, let's try to do something together, and let me actually stand behind my words, it would be a situation where everyone benefits. Because if you look at the people I fuck with, they all are like you. I fuck with Vlad. I don't give a fuck what other people are saying.
Right.
Academics, Charlemagne, Adam 22, Sean Cotton,
Tony Ayo,
Boosie. Like literally, I have so many regular guests that have never. Yeah, a couple people have backed away from me, and that's cool.
Right.
But the vast majority of them are all rocking with me year after year after year, because I feel like we could all benefit together.
Right.
I will go out of my way to share information with you. You've never approached me with anything, and I'll be like, nah, I remember, I'm not going to say who it is, but this one smaller YouTube channel had a guest on their show that I wanted to interview myself. I did a quick search, couldn't find the guy's contact, so I reached out to him, hey, can you send me the contact info of so-and-so? They said, I'll do it after you do an interview on my platform. And I'm like, for a contact? I'm like, man,
that was
come
a
on.
bad negotiation.
I'm like, get out of here.
That was a bad negotiation.
And I ended up finding the person anyways. I interviewed them, and I sent them a link to the interview, say,
right,
you just passed up a business opportunity. He goes, oh, what? So you would have just given me a contact if I would ask for it? Yes, actually, I would have.
Yeah.
I would have checked with the person first and say, hey, so-and-so wants to reach out to you, but it's a fucking contact.
But then that's the smoke and mirrors. That's the public. That's all these people who are trying to paint this separate image about who you are that hits their mind first, and then they're like, I'm dealing with this type of person, so I'm gonna move like this. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, come on, man.
It's not a move. Having someone go in and do an interview on your platform, take time out from their day, spend hours, go somewhere, move their schedule around, whatever else, to do something that will benefit your platform by, uniquely, because I won't benefit because it's a much smaller platform. You know what I'm saying? In exchange for just passing over a contact? That's silly. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It lacks a sense of business. Just basic business sense. I will absolutely, if anyone asks me for anybody that I have a contact for, if I know them on any level, I will reach out to that person and say, hey, so-and-so wants to reach you.
Right.
Do you want their number? Do you want to send them your number? Or are you just not interested? Right. And I get all three answers on various occasions. And I'll reach back and say, hey, yeah, I reached out to the person. I mean, there was a certain person who's a regular on Vlad TV. I'm not going to say who it is. You reach out to me and say, hey, I want to get this person on my show. I reach out to the person. They say, nah, I don't really want to do it.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not going to say who.
You mentioned that person.
Yeah, I mentioned him earlier.
Right.
So y'all can do the math.
Right.
But I reach out to him.
Right.
I can show you the text.
Right.
I'm not making this up.
Yeah, that's no
and
problem.
they're like, nah, I don't really want to do that show.
And it's cool. And
I told you that.
And it's no love loss.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
It wasn't my decision.
I didn't go online after and be like, you bitch ass nigga, you this, you that, yo, what the, but Vlad told me, it's like.
You can't be mad at him, and you can't be mad at me.
Bro,
you can't be mad at me. I told you exactly what I would do, and I did it, and the person told me he's not interested.
It is what it is.
And I told you that. I can't convince him.
I think that's happened vice versa. Like,
I think I reached out for certain people. They didn't want to do Vlad TV.
Right.
Okay, all right, cool. That's life. Life goes on.
Right.
No one person makes Vlad TV. All of these favorite guests that you have, if they all left today, like people thought Tony Ayo was leaving, Vlad TV would still be okay.
Right.
We will pivot. We've never been the big entity where every A-list artist goes through. We've always had to think outside the box, and we've always had to have homegrown talent. We've always had to build up our guests and you know what I'm saying, create our own audience.
What do you think about this interview space now, though?
It's crowded.
Very crowded.
It's crowded. Views are harder to come by.
Right.
I get it. But that's okay. There's still a base with us of 16 years and an audience that grew up with us, you know? And that's the thing. Like, when I go out, I meet people like, yo, bro, I've been listening to you since high school. I've been listening to you since junior high. Like, you know, there's people that grew up
Right.
watching that. And then when those people make it, they want to make it on, you know, they want Vlad TV to be one of those points,
those
you know, one of those,
yeah.
you know, one of those highlights of their career. I made it on Vlad TV.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I remember Killer Mike, the first time, I made it on Vlad TV. Now he's winning Grammys and everything.
Right.
I can't get him back on the show.
Right.
You know what I mean? I still talk to him. Shout out to Killer Mike. He knows what this comment's about. But yeah, I'm just saying, like, you know, same thing with Nori. I made it on Vlad TV. Now Nori's got his own big platform, you know, and then I did his show. Like, it's all to the good.
Right.
Before I let you go, I got to mention this. So, the Super Bowl. Kendrick has been chosen to perform.
Mm-hmm.
At one point, they're saying, Jay-Z only gives a short list. He doesn't make the final decision. The city makes the final decision. But then someone else came in and said, actually, Jay-Z makes the final
Jesse
decision.
Collins, the halftime producer.
That's who said it.
Mm-hmm.
He said Jay-Z makes the final decision.
Jay-Z, that is solely Jay-Z's decision. If I'm Jay-Z, you getting fired. You getting fired. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody's people are expressing they're upset with this decision, and then you go on record saying that it's solely Jay-Z's decision.
Well,
like,
can't Jay-Z fire him, though? That's the question.
I saw Fabulous hanging out the truck like, I don't think it's just Hov. I think it's, it's multiple people that, this decision, you can't just place it on. And then this guy comes out like, nope, it's Jay-Z's decision completely. Now, I remember Ja Rule saying, I think he texted Jay-Z about the Reebok commercial with 50 Cent.
Yeah, I remember that.
And he said, why you ain't something big dog or whatever. And Jay-Z's reply was, don't ever ask me nothing about my business. Jay has his own goals. Mm-hmm. And as soon as people realize, like, yo, he has his own shit worked out. Do not expect the fucking favors, because we're looking at an individual who, to really make it in this game, he had no favors.
True.
People turned him away left and right. He had to make decisions for himself. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Murder Inc. wanted to sign Nas at some point. Like, you see these things coming. Like, yo, you can't expect, certain things. Okay, you got this guy who's kind of saying little slick stuff about Jay-Z. He's your artist, and then you want to still be. It's just weird. Jay-Z paid $14 million for Lil Wayne's taxes, correct?
I don't know. Not sure.
I'm pretty sure he helped him out with his tax situation. Truthfully, he doesn't owe.
Yeah, in 2018, Lil Wayne publicly thanked Jay-Z for helping him pay off a $14 million tax debt.
A $14 million tax debt.
Is he saying that
helping him?
Helping him.
So we don't know if he paid the whole $14 million, or if it was $2 million, or he was short.
Or maybe he just got him with certain,
right.
Listen, I got some context to IRS. They'll let you pay it off without all these interests, right. Crazy, whatever else. Yeah, he helped him.
Okay, cool.
That's fair.
So,
and look, let's just take a step back, okay? If you're in New Orleans, resident, or if you live in the state of Louisiana, I could see how important it would be for Lil Wayne to perform at the Super Bowl.
Right.
But that is a relatively small sliver of the entire Super Bowl audience.
Mm-hmm.
And when you look at the entire audience, you can't deny that Kendrick is a way bigger artist than Lil Wayne right now.
Right now.
Right now.
Yeah, definitely.
Right at this moment, on September 24th, 2024,
Right.
if Kendrick dropped a new album and Lil Wayne dropped a new album on the same day, it wouldn't even be close. It wouldn't even be close. Those numbers would not even be close.
But it's not for that.
Okay, I'm just proving a point right now.
Right.
So if you want the biggest possible look for the biggest stage in the world on that particular day, and you're going for the biggest artist, the biggest effect, Kendrick is the logical choice. Outside of New Orleans.
Outside of New Orleans. Everyone wins.
Yes.
As
the whole world will tune in.
To these people.
The whole world will tune in.
Right.
And you've seen, and don't think that it's just America, because you've seen Travis Scott do these shows in Brazil with fucking 150,000 people causing actual earthquakes and stuff like that.
Yeah, crazy.
It's crazy. You think that it's just America. No, it's not just America. The whole world is tuning in to see Kendrick, especially off the whole Drake win and everything else like that. Right. And look, and he could bring Lil Wayne on as a guest. I think that would be super dope. So yeah, Lil Wayne may not get to headline it, but I wouldn't be surprised at all if Lil Wayne didn't show up for, whatever, a couple of minutes and do a song, do a little quick little medley or whatever else. The same way that, when Dre, he brought Eminem, brought 50 Cent, brought Mary J. Blige, brought Kendrick, brought Snoop Dogg, and everyone had their moment. But right now, it's Kendrick it's Kendrick time right now. It's his moment.
Right.
He deserves it.
Right.
No one's going to say that Kendrick didn't deserve it.
Right.
And think about this also. I think Steve Stout said this. Jay could have picked himself. If it was really all about ego.
I don't think it ever had anything to do with ego.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Kendrick deserves it now, man. And I know that Wayne has a lot of hardcore fans and a lot of hardcore business relationships like the Nicki Minaj's and stuff like that who are going to go real hard and,
Well, you know why they would go hard. Like, let's be real.
Yeah, he put them on.
Not just that he put them on. Wayne was on that stage. Who would he be doing records with?
Nicki Minaj, Drake. But Drake turned it down a couple times. Steve Stout confirmed that.
He confirmed it. That's real.
That's what Steve Stout says.
That Drake turned down the Super Bowl.
Steve Stout says that Drake turned it down twice. And from my dealings with Steve and seeing the way he presents himself, I haven't heard Steve caught in a bunch of lies ever. I don't think Steve has a reason to lie. Especially for something as big as that. Because think about it, if it was a lie, Drake could just go online and say, that's not true, I've never been offered the Super Bowl. Right? Drake could say that.
No, he could say that.
Yeah.
But if it's not true, let's just say it's not true. It would be a snub like, so what? I turned that down.
I turned it down anyways.
You know what I mean? And if that would be the perception people would want to go with.
Listen, I don't know how deep and intricate lies are being built, but from my impression, would it be that? Would you be shocked that Drake was offered the Super Bowl? I wouldn't be shocked. Would you be shocked?
I wouldn't be shocked, but you know what hits different right now?
What's that?
What Kendrick is right now, all really started from First Person Shooter.
Yeah.
And on First Person Shooter, they're like, big as the what? Big as the what? Big as the what?
Big as the Super Bowl.
Big as the Super Bowl. Trickle it down a couple of months. Who's doing the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Kendrick replied to that song, then all this shit was set in motion, and now he has a Super Bowl. What the fuck, bro? Like,
Yeah.
that's kind of crazy to think about, right?
Chestnut checkers.
Yeah, chestnut checkers.
Chestnut checkers.
Biggest of what? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Touche.
Listen. Yeah, touche.
Touche. Touche.
Touche. Well played.
And then he disses Drake in the fucking commercial.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no round twos.
No round twos.
No
You already
round
lost.
twos.
Yeah.
You only get one chance to win the championship.
Yep.
No round twos. Let's go.
Let's go. Yeah, man, listen, Kendrick's a cold piece of work. Kendrick is a cold piece of
Definitely.
work. But I've always said that, like, I think Drake makes better pop songs, better club songs, everything else like that. But Kendrick has been more creative the entire time. He's the more creative artist. He's the more creative poet. He doesn't go with the producers that everyone uses, with the features that everyone uses.
Right.
He goes very left field with the music. He talks about stuff that other people don't talk about. He doesn't do club bangers. He's not trying to get on the radio.
Eclectic type shit.
He's
you know what I
eclectic.
mean?
He's artsy.
Yeah.
He's not at the parties. He's not hanging out with the rappers. He's not jumping on everyone else's songs to stay relevant. You know, something that Drake has always done and Jay-Z has always done also when he was in his prime. He is cool where he is. I heard he doesn't even have a cell phone.
No, Jay-Z didn't do that in his prime.
Jay-Z absolutely did it in his prime.
Jumping on other people's
Jay-Z
songs
was
to
jumping,
stay relevant? No, Jay was
Jay
relevant.
was jumping on other people's songs a lot.
But it was never to stay relevant.
I think everything is I think even Jay-Z didn't, needed to maintain his relativity for a very long time. Jay-Z has not always been a top dog from day one.
I think when you're the hottest in the game,
he wasn't always the hottest in the game.
no, but when you are considered the hottest in the game, or you're the role model for a lot of the artists that you're working with, no one's turning down the Jay-Z feature.
Well, and he understands that.
Yeah.
Just like no one's turning down...
Except for Cameron, of course. Except for Cameron,
no
of
one was
course.
turning down a Drake feature either. See what I'm saying?
So?
Same kind of thing.
Right.
Same kind of thing. This is why, we could agree to disagree, but like Jay was definitely doing a lot of features on songs that he didn't have to do. But I think that between albums and so forth, because he wasn't dropping albums every year and so forth, I think that it was, hey, I'm still here. I'm still the shit. I'm still, you're going to still pay attention to this verse.
Right.
And I'm going to, doing songs like Frank Ocean and stuff like that. It's like, okay, I know this is the next guy. I'm going to jump on his song and then I'm going to get him on Watch the Throne. And you see what I'm saying?
Right.
Very strategic.
Very
Just
strategic.
like Drake. Just like Drake. Drake finds the Migos who are hot in Atlanta, but not really outside of Atlanta, hops on their song, so now he raises his bar, and then they become stars off the shit.
But right now, I think we can all agree the king of strategy right now is Kendrick Lamar.
Yes. 100%.
I'm very interested to know what his daily vitamin set is. I know there's some shit in there that's got him moving different than other people, because the calculation, kudos to your team if your team is a part of it, but they're definitely kind of creating this mystique around him. Like,
yeah, he never does interviews. And I've been around him. I remember me, him, and Dave Free, we were at the airport together. We were coming back from the Bahamas.
right.
They had flown me out, but he was performing. But we all knew each other, so we were just all chopping it up. And me and Dave were talking a lot, but Kendrick was just quietly listening. He was paying attention. He was laughing along and stuff like that. But he didn't really talk much. He's not that, he
doesn't feel the need.
No.
Yeah.
But that's just not him, I think.
Right.
He doesn't really tweet. He's not on social media. He doesn't post. I mean, he'll do certain things to promote certain things, but then, yeah, like I said, I heard he doesn't even have a cell phone.
I wouldn't be mad at that.
Yeah. I wish we were all that lucky. To not have a cell phone at all.
What's life like?
It
That
would
is
be
a
great.
very scheduled life. there.
Yes.
Very scheduled.
I would love that.
Very calculated. I've been working on shit like that. Like,
Yeah, I remember a friend of mine, he was working for, I think it was MySpace back in the day, and Rupert Murdoch, you know, the huge media titan, he had bought the company, and he said at one point he showed up, and he said the one thing he noticed was that Rupert didn't have anything. He didn't keep a wallet, he didn't keep a phone, briefcase, nothing. He would have assistants around him that would, whatever, they would tell him, hey, so-and-so, okay, yeah, just tell me tomorrow we'll talk, whatever. But his mind was completely free. There was nothing connecting him to the world.
except those people.
Except those people. And those people could go at any point. And, you know, people will wait. You know, I haven't reached him in a week. Well, I'll keep trying. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I think that's dope. I think to be able not to be reached, a person not to have a line on you whenever they want, because that's when the problems start.
Yeah, I do not believe in too much access.
Exactly.
I don't. You know,
Exactly.
people always like, yo, man, why you don't come out to this? Why you don't come out to that? Because them, you know, you see me too often. It's not like, it's not the
special.
same reception. It's
Yeah,
not special.
Not special. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So when I do pull up, it's,
Oh, shit.
Mav is in the building.
Right.
I got to be careful at what time I pull up because I might disturb whatever is going on.
Yeah.
But it feels good. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what it is, man. Math Hoffa, always a pleasure. Whenever I come by, you want to hit the symbol? We haven't hit it too many times, so we gotta.
It's real. It's real.
You know, so like I said, you about to see me on my expert opinion, like you've seen me many times before. And man, listen, happy for your success, happy for your million subscribers.
Thank you. Where you at? 4 now? 4 or 5?
Almost 6.
Almost 6.
Yeah. I'll hit 6 either by the end of December or maybe January. It's getting close.
Quick question.
Yeah.
What brought the biggest jump?
There is no really big jumps. I mean, yeah, occasionally certain things will bring jumps, but it hasn't been like, oh shit, we got 100,000 new subscribers today. No,
But
that's
you
never
never
happened.
looked at your analytics and said,
I look at them every day.
This particular video brought me more subscribers than ever.
I mean, it's never been such a sizable jump where it was like, oh my God, this video changed it. It's the consistency.
Right. Definitely the consistency.
Certain days, I'll only get like a few hundred new subscribers, and certain days I'll get over 1,000 or a couple thousand. But tomorrow will be a whole new day, and I got to prove myself all over again. You see what I'm saying? That's how I look at it. I think that the biggest misconception to success, and I used to always think about this myself also. You know, I was messed up in my thinking early on, especially when you're struggling. You think, if I could just get that one big win, if I could just do that one standout thing, everything will change. And that's 100% false.
False. It's always...
You have to be able to consistently do it over again, day after day, week after week, month after month. You have to find something you consistently show out on a very regular basis, and that's how you get success. That one big spark. Now look, there are, what we call one-hit wonders in music.
Right.
And people, will be able to sort of tour off that song for a long time. And of course there's unicorns like Sir Mix-a-Lot, Baby Got Back, where he made $100 million off that one song. So, but that's the equivalent of winning the lotto. Very few people win the lotto.
Very few people do.
You can't count on the lotto wins.
Right.
You have to count on, hey, listen, if I could come out with this project, because I used to think, something, if I get a documentary, my whole life will change. I got a documentary. My life didn't change. I made 30 grand. You know what I mean?
Right.
That money went away relatively quickly.
Right.
And I realized, okay, I got to start a YouTube channel and keep putting out content every day. You have, whatever you are, whatever you do, you got to figure out something that you can keep doing and keep being successful at month after month, year after year. And that's when the success will come. that's where the success will come. It's not that one huge big hit or whatever else. Because even with that one big standout thing, you have to follow it up with something. And if you can't follow it up, it will eventually dwindle down.
And you'll find yourself in a very peculiar state.
Yeah, man, listen, I was talking, I'm not going to say who it is because I have a bad history of doing this, putting people on blast, but like I was talking to this one rapper and I gave him an offer for an interview, and he was like, I make 7 times that for a club walkthrough. And I'm like, all right, that's cool. You could, and he probably got that once or twice for a walkthrough, but he's not getting that every day for a walkthrough.
Right.
And as time goes on, this is someone who had a hit record a long time ago. That will dwindle down over time and so forth. And if you don't continue to put out things that people react to, it will essentially go down to 0 at some point. And you can't sit there and say, well, I got this once, so this is what I deserve from here on in, because life just doesn't work that way.
It doesn't work that way.
It doesn't work that way. But it was cool that you got it once. You may get it again one day, but you're not going to get it every day. People are not booking you for that amount of money for walkthroughs day in and day out. You may have gotten it once. It's like, a girl who dates regular guys and one day she hooks up with an NBA player and they have a 1-month fling, and now she thinks from here on in everyone she fucks with has to be on an NBA player level, and it's just not going to happen that way.
Right. It could happen that way, but it's not going to be no real shit. It's probably not going to
happen that way.
It's not going to be no real shit.
You have to maintain the consistency. You know what I'm saying?
Hoes get passed around, Vlad. Hoes, especially this day and age, hoes get passed around. But it's not going to be no real shit.
It's not going to be no real shit.
You know what I mean? The first situation might have been real. The other ones are just going to be the trophy getting passed around.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Exactly.
I think that they're fleeting moments of success.
Yeah.
And my issue is trying to balance, like, when you hit that moment, feel it. Because there are times when I don't feel it. Everyone else is like, yo, that's great, this did that. And I don't feel it because I'm thinking about what to do next.
Yeah.
You got to find that balance, man. You got to find that balance. But it's dope shit.
That's what it is, Matt Hoffa. Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. And you'll see me on your show next time, talking about all the crazy shit that I've been through since our last interview.
Try to get you and Dame on the show. Oh, that.
You should do it. I'm down to do it.
I bet.
I'm down to do it.
Make the call, Vlad.
Hey, go ahead. Put us on 3-way.
I bet.
I'm going to have my people there. Don't think it's going to be, it's going to be a walk in the park.
See, this is how you fuck it up. Don't say that.
What?
Just don't say it.
Hey, man, listen.
Just don't say it.
If someone says,
Vlad,
I want to smack the shit out you, Vlad, I'm going to believe you.
But Vlad, don't say it.
I'm going to believe you.
He said I wouldn't.
Yes.
That followed up.
That's true. But
leave that alone.
He still said I want to. So I'm going to believe you. And I'm going to take precautions to ensure my safety.
You don't have to say that.
That's all I'm saying.
You don't have to say that.
Put me and Dame on the show. I'm down to do it.
I bet.
Peace.